Welcome everybody in the Twitch chat to this very exciting July Nova Cup. Joining me on the stream today, all the way from the dark side of the Force, it's Satobi1 Kenobi. Hello!
Hello, Dark Seto here to make all the wrong calls.
How is that any different to normal Seto?
I'm just embracing the inner dark side
Okay.
of being wrong, but still making it to this cast.
Okay, so essentially exactly the same as normal Seto, but with slightly more eye makeup, is what you're saying?
I am here to dominate and bring angst at the same time.
Okay, I mean that sounds really good to me. But Seto, this is a really exciting month for Legion and for Nova Cup because I mean, look, we've got a couple of new masterminds. Scrapper's seen a pretty substantial buff. Miner, of course, brand new this month. But more to the point, we've got a ton of new players coming over from the Epic Games Store, where Legion is currently free to keep. So if anybody hasn't picked it up yet, head over to the Epic Games Store, pick up a copy. It's free for the rest of this week. And if you add it to your account, you get to keep it forever. So that's a pretty good deal in my book. But yeah, welcome to all of our new Epic friends. I hope you're enjoying the game so far. It's one that's certainly taken a lot of hours of my life, and maybe some of yours as well, Seto.
You could say that it is quickly approaching my most played game ever, and there was some fierce competition in there. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to share my knowledge with anyone who asks for it. Please, and I think a pretty good community. I think we help one another pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's that's fair to say. Pretty tight knit community, tons of like welcoming streamers and YouTubers around. So feel free to check those guys out if you haven't already. They should be pretty good in terms of offering advice, answering questions, and all the like. But for today, what you have in store is some of the absolute best players in the world at this game, Legion TD2, and they are going to be going head to head in our monthly tournament called Nova Cup. So this is a bit of a kind of double elimination format on day one into a quarter finals bracket tomorrow on Sunday. We play this every month. There's a few different divisions, so don't worry if you can't make it into Division 1, because there are brackets all the way for brand new players down in Division 5 as well. So get involved, guys. It's super exciting, and what you're about to see on the stream today is the absolute pinnacle of Legion gameplay. So these guys are the best of the best. They are going to show you exactly how to strategically mastermind this game, and what it looks like when the best players clash. So for the first game today, Seto, we have Ashton Fans, which is Isolde and King Dans, and they are going to be facing off against You Only Mine Once, which is Joke on You and Mr. Slickins. So, what kind of matchup do you expect between these two teams?
Okay, I'm going to throw a little bit of shade. I'm going to make bold predictions here. For the Ashton fans, we have Isolde and we have King Dans. Isolde, also known as Genom, in case we call him that by accident. King Dans has only played 20 games in the last month, and he's lost, I don't know, hundreds of elo from inactivity and, all of that. But we also have Joke on You on the other side, who is one of the biggest brain giga whatever players in the game, paired up with Demon Miner or Mr. Slickins. And you have big brains and big pushes coming in from our mining team versus a former great legend in King Dans, just attritioned out to nothingness. It's so sad to see.
Yeah, but you know what they say, a rusty King Dans is still worth 10 of the next player. So for all of our new members in the chat, King Dans is kind of widely known as the greatest of all time when it comes to Legion TD2. He has won so many tournaments. He is whenever he's active, he is always at the very, very top of the ranked ladder, and it's just always really exciting to see him play. So, I mean, fingers crossed we haven't just cast as cursed him, and we get to see some really good games here with King Dans and Isolde. Joke on You and Mr. Slickins, aka Demon Miner, they absolutely have their work cut out for them here in Series 1. So, my prediction, I'm going to say... I would hate for it to be a 2-0, so I'm going to say 2-1 in favour of the Ashton fans, so in favour of King Dans and Isolde. I definitely want to see Joke and Slickens taking at least one of the games in the series, but I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a really hard matchup.
It is a really hard matchup, and King Dans is one of the greatest players, and not only even just in Legion, but in many other games. Hilariously, he got a heck of a TFT career as well. However, I am looking at his match history, and it's not impressive. And I don't know if it's like the lower-ish elo people just dragging him through the mud, or if it's the teammates, the matchups, whatever it is. Not great. So I'm going to back, and I'm not throwing my caster curse in the wrong direction here. Surely, 2-1 as well. Same call, same teams.
All right, the casters are aligned in that case. So now all that's left is to actually play the game. Do we have a lobby open, Seto? Yeah,
That's what I'm
there's
looking
a
for.
lot of lobbies open right now. Holy. Okay,
There's
Isolde's
so
is
many.
one of them, though, so we can hop in there. All right, we
All
do
right.
have all of the players in the lobby. We are just waiting for you. There we go. And ready when you are, guys. So we should be able to hop into game number one very, very quickly. And the Nova Cup is about to begin. All right, I've heard someone saying you're kind of quiet. So let me see if I can just boost that volume ever so slightly. All right, we've got a bit of a boost on there. Let me know, guys, if that's okay.
We'll have to wait 5 minutes for feedback.
Yeah, true. We do operate a 5 minute delay on the stream as well, guys, just for integrity purposes. So while the feedback in chat is really helpful,
Yes.
there will be a 5 minute delay on enacting any of it. So hopefully the volume is good, and maybe Dark Seto can pull the microphone slightly closer to his his twisted mouth, and then we'll get some volume that way as well. Oh, that's great.
And
One
there
of
it
the
goes.
comments here says Seto's looking like Ozzy. Is this a bit of a
Oh,
tribute?
it wasn't, but now it can be.
Rest in peace, Prince of Darkness. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Ozzy, sure, we'll go Ozzy.
I have been wanting to listen to War Pigs, and I just have not found the time, and that's horrible and tragic, and kind of unforgivable.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Isolde has found the start match button. So, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, here it is, game number one of your July Nova Cup. We have the Ashton fans on the left versus You Only Mine Once on the right. Here's game number one. Let's go.
Let's go. Very excited. We do not have any masterminds. There we go. Wow.
YOLO. That is a phenomenal YOLO roll there by
Are
Joke
you
on You.
kidding?
So, wow. Game number one in the Nova Cup, and you just pull out an absolute banger of a roll like that with YOLO. So, guys, anyone who is new to the game, YOLO is one of the riskiest masterminds in the game. It gives you 6 completely random fighters, and you have no option to reroll either. So you get what you're given. You can get extremely difficult to play rolls. In this case, Joke has not done that. He's kind of hit the jackpot. Priestess, Mask, 2 of the most consistent units paired together through the entire early game, and then he has that Windhawk as well to help cover some of the weak waves, and I think he's just going to do very, very well in this game.
Yeah, this is certainly looking better than my most recent YOLO rolls. As you already pointed out, Poto Mask are an incredible combo just to open with. And then we have a Windhawk, which is neat. It's a good mid-game, mid-tier unit, relatively cheap, does its job effectively. And then on the other side, we have 2 King's Guards and we have a Cartel here. So a little bit of King protection, even though we have the great YOLO roll from Joke. Demon Miner here is just shoring up their defenses a little bit.
All right, and an interesting one here with the Chloropixie Harpy from King Dans. This was an opening that was quite popular a couple of patches ago. It's since fallen out of favour, but we'll see. I'm sure King will pilot it well.
For certainly. It is nice that we kill the Chloropixie here. Chloropixie being like relatively decent damage and a little bit of good tanking in the early game, especially since we shifted some of that power over to the Chlorpixie from the Sakura. But I am interested to see how this banker game is going to be played because I have not been a fan of this unit since the changes to the way its gold accumulation works.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of banker myself either. It's kind of too tempo lossy in my opinion. But I know Slickins enjoys the unit, and he is a better player than me, so we'll see what the guy wants to cook up this time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think Slick sees the best in every unit, which I do not have the ability to do.
yeah. Oh, we do get a
Makes
wave
sense.
2 leak here out of Kingdans, leaking 42% to a single snail. So, yeah, this is kind of the reason why the Pixie Harpy's fallen a bit out of favour. It's just too easy to leak in the early game.
Looks like the suggestion is that I turn up my mic. Are you okay with me picking it up a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Right.
But bear in mind, I think that's probably still pre the 5 minute change. Alright. Oh, we have the first real send of the game coming here on wave 3. There's a Robo into Kingdans, and remember, he already leaked last wave. Will the Robo break through the all-natural defense here of Kingdans? A lot of magic damage. The Chloropixies are dying super quick, though. This is going to be a leak here. How much is it going to look percentage-wise? That's 41%, so not too bad. I think King's going to be okay with that leak.
Oh yeah, certainly. He has cartel. He's expecting longer waves, or would prefer to see longer waves. And a good way of ensuring that you get slightly longer waves is to, the occasional leak. You do want to keep it small, and it was a real send out of Slick here, so Slick will be suffering -2 income.
Yep, for the rest of the game. Kingsguard value as well on the side of the Ashton fans.
Absolutely. Not losing tempo or pace whatsoever. Joke on you. Absolutely decimating his POTA mask opening here, just playing it textbook.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff. And what's great to see is all 4 players here on 7 workers wave 4. This is quite a fast and aggressive game.
It is a fast and aggressive game indeed. 7 workers on 4, and, like the builds are looking a little bit suspect, which is actually really fun. The Iron or Cage of Pain, not great next.
Yeah, the wave
For
5 there for Isolde is not looking great, and Joke on You actually saved a bit of Mythium, so he can go aggressive there on wave 5 should he choose, especially with this small leak here coming out from Kingdans once again. This guy's leaked 3 waves in a row now, and this kind of makes his teammate rather vulnerable on 5. Joke does have 80 Mythium, can go for a Hermit if he wants to.
if he chooses not to go here, 6 is also a very dangerous wave currently for Isolde, so
Yeah.
could be a little bit of a clenching type couple of waves here.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Joke did save, but Isolde actually pulling out the Desert Pilgrim, one of the best units in the game on wave 5, so Joke going to be super rewarded for saving his Mythium here, and Isolde looking even weaker on 6, like you said. So, meanwhile, there is a Brute coming out from Isolde into Demon Miner. Let's see, Demon Miner, Mr. Slickins, how are you going to deal with this one?
If he doesn't deal, that's honestly kind of good for Joke, as that gives him more time to build up that Mythium here. Of course, every time someone pulls out a Pilgrim on wave 5 and I'm sending into them real, I always feel my heart sink, because I always know that that's what's going to happen whenever I send that wave, but never when I don't. So,
Yeah,
unfortunate.
absolutely. Meanwhile, Slickins did really, really well here, leaking just 33% against the Brute Send. His teammates should be able to cover most, if not all of this in the mid, so very, very little king damage to be dealt, if any. And like you said, Seto, this just creates a very, very long wave for Joke on You's full send. We see 2 Brutes and a Robo all ready to be sent, and Demon Miner, he's gone triple Robo as well, so Isolde and Kingdans, they're in trouble here on wave 6.
Absolutely. As you've already mentioned, for Kingdans, he's got all natural tanks so far. He's got literally all natural tanks except for 2 little rats. So this Robo Send is going to probably be very decent.
Yeah. It looks like they're both going to get another robo post-income, possibly not for joke. But these sends are massive on wave 6. Yeah,
Absolutely. As you said, a fast and aggressive game here.
it
This is
certainly is. Wow, we've got 180 Mythium here walking into a Solday's lane. 160 for Kingdowns. Will either player be able to hold, or is the side of Ashton fans about to take some serious King damage here on wave 6?
Well, thankfully, Ashton isn't here, nor his fans, to cry for him as just a very, very devastating leak here. This is going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was 90% there for Kingdowns, and Isolde not too far behind. They do have Kingsguard, so that will limit the damage somewhat, but even so, Seto, they are dropping very, very low here. And what's more, that's a ton of gold going the way of You Only Mine Once.
Yup, just a babyish leak here out of Demon Miner as well, where that single hit Robo goes to King. Wow.
Yeah, they're in a really solid position here. If you take a look at the win probability calculations up the top, that is something produced by one of the developers, Jules. He actually sits there behind the scenes, updating those percentages manually as the game goes on. And to do that, he looks at things like workers and income and King HP, and yeah, so he's very much in favour of You Only Mine Once right now.
Very much in favor of them. We do see the double hunt here from Slick, which is, of course, he's got the bunk. He's feeling very good about this wave. Going back to Jules real quick here, you'll notice that for the last couple months or so, he's been kind of avoiding that specific percentage, and I see that he's done it once again here.
Yeah, he may actually have hard-coded it to skip that number in particular.
It's actually very clever because, you know, as he is doing this manually, he might occasionally forget what it is his goals are. And, of course, avoiding that number in particular, big deal.
Yeah. He just doesn't want to influence the games as much anymore,
No.
you know?
Yeah. The secret is out, and it's been out for kind of a minute now.
Okay, we have Isolde and Kingdowns going for another round of income sends here on wave 8, but that kind of puts them in a dangerous position because Demon Miner, he's saving a pretty serious amount of Mythium now, approaching the 160 mark here for the yellow player, and if we look at Kingdowns' lane, he's looking really vulnerable on wave 9, so let's see, will Slickins go for that play? They could even opt to go straight into wave 10 with something like a Siege Ram.
King Dan's currently looks like he's possibly a little bit sus here. He does have the Millennium or also the Shadow Dancer here to, you know, do ideal damage, either melee in the Shadow Dancer or the ranged but impact Millennium. So he has options, but, you know, that's a good tank. That's not a great tank. And then his Harpies are wasted value. His Chloropixies are wasted value. Could be, you know, could have been a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, they're both just really high value though, so I don't hate the decision here from You Only Mine Once to just go for a round of Income King, just solidify their economy. They're already in a good position with regards to King HP, so they don't really need to take risks, they can just continue to scale. They do have the worker advantage, they do have a rather significant income lead as well, so I think it's pretty fine for them to just take this slow and steady for now with Income King.
No, fully agree here. And, you know, Slicky here, not only pushing workers, but also doing those hunts, just further increasing that value. So the next time they are ready to punch, they'll be able to punch hard.
And talking about punching, Isolde is going for a Hermit here on wave 10 into Demon Miner. We do see 278 gold there for Demon. He drops a Lord of Death, which is pretty bad on wave 10, one of the worst units possible in fact, but very, very good for 11. So Isolde may have caught Demon Miner unaware here. He even hunts one of those pack rats as well. So will we get a leak here? I would imagine so with this send into this build.
Very much the same. I fully expect the same thing. He also already had the tree down, which is good on 11, so protecting 10 here, although he felt probably pretty safe, would not have been such a bad idea, especially since we also know that Poda at Mask is not great on 10 as well.
Oh, he's actually doing phenomenally well, so even despite receiving a full send while building for the next wave, he barely leaks the king here. And sure, Joke leaks as well, but guess what? They also have Kingsguard.
They do indeed have Kingsguard. They have all of the answers right now, and I think that's pretty gosh darn impressive.
Yeah. They have all of the answers, but what's more, they have all of the pressure. So we see another round of income coming out from Isolde and King Downs. They are just in survival mode right now, but if we look over at the side of Demon Miner and Joke on You, they have some scary Mythium numbers stored up already. 260 for both. There are a couple of aggressive spells. They don't take it though, they go for the Protector, but I wonder when they want to send Seto. I could certainly see Wave 13 being an absolute banger of a send here against Isolde and King Downs.
Oh, Wave 13 absolutely seems to be the most obvious answer, especially with everything that Demon Miner and Joke have as far as knowledge goes. They do not know that King Dance is sitting on a Millennium slash Doomsday. However, you know, with what they have right now, it looks pretty juicy to go for that wave here. We do see a late Sakura, which is I don't know how it is in the most recent patch. I know the mid game focus is when you're supposed to send it, but hopefully it's good.
I think the latest patch has changed Sakura that makes going for it later a lot more viable than it was in the past. So I think it's fine. Now, Wave 13 is looking ever more likely. We do see that Millennium, though, in King Dan's role, so he is going to shift 130 gold as well. Will we... Oh, no, he actually shows it here. Okay, I thought he was just going to hide that.
I fully recommend hiding it. We know that Dread Knight on this wave is pretty OP. We also have the decent Predator, the Alpha Male for giving that time that he needs to scale and get the damage out, but did decide ultimately to hide it. Very smart.
Alright, so we've got a ton of Mythium stored now on the side of You Only Mine Once. Surely they go for this end here. They do. We've got a Kraken coming out from Joke with a Brute as backup. What will Demon Miner send? It looks like a full set of Imps is queued up. There we go. We've got 4 Imps, a Brute and a Snail, but King Dan's, he does have that full Doomsday out of nowhere. Very clever play there by the King to save 300 plus gold on Wave 12. A little bit risky, but it's going to pay dividends here, I think, on Wave 13. His build otherwise very, very weak on this wave, but Doomsday, one of the best possible units for one-shotting these big, beefy creeps.
Absolutely here. I think the only liability is Isolde, really.
Yeah, Solday, I think, is gonna struggle. He's quite undervalued. The Kraken's really good at mitigating his mostly magic DPS. But let's see, will King be able to save the team from certain death here? His Dread Knight goes down really, really quickly. Doomsday is doing its job, but will it be enough? He's killed half of the wave and the Sens at least, but it's still going to be a leak. There's 163% there for his teammate Isolde. King Downs did extremely well, leaking just 47%, but I think this is going to be enough to end the game here, Seto.
Fully agree. This is we have our one. Let's just say it that way for our 2-1 victory. Just definitely didn't expect to see it so soon.
Wow, very, very well played there for the side of You Only Mine Once. That was a really dominating performance. I think the casters may have jinxed it, Seto, when we called this in favour of Isolde and King Downs, because judging on the performance in that game number 1, Demon Miner and Joke on You, they seem like leagues ahead of their opponents. I mean, Isolde and King Downs, they've got a lot of ground to cover to break this series into a tie and get it back into a 2-1. So they have their work cut out for them here. How do you think they need to do it?
King Dan's is the GOAT. King Dan's will pick it up. We're like, and here's the deal. He's been down before. He's gotten right back up many, many times. This is not a caster curse, and this is not me memeing. They are going to pull back 2 games very easily, despite the fact that they, just got kind of bodied, if we're being honest here. Joke on you and Slicken's Demon Miner played absolutely flawlessly. There was not a single beat missed.
Yeah, it was a really really strong performance from those guys. I'm just trying to get my camera doesn't like it when there's like the light of 1,000 suns blaring through the window, so I can't really sort that out. But yeah, the gameplay there was really really impressive. Joke and Demon Miner, they just never let up the pressure. They got that early game damage in, and then they just controlled the pace of the game. Even on that wave 9 or 10, where they just went for a big income send, they still managed to keep their opponents lower workers, lower income, by applying that pressure. Knowing that they were strong, just going for the income was absolutely fine to allow them to scale, and then they went for that victory with a massive send on wave 13. So really, really good pace control, really good decision making, and that is why these guys are at the top of the game. So, Seto, we have 1-0 in favour of You Only Mine Once, and they just used, I think it was Kingsguard and YOLO, correct?
They used Kingsguard and YOLO, and that's it. Like, they got YOLO out of the
Yeah,
way in a way.
and that was
That's
a really
crazy.
good YOLO roll as well. So a little bit of luck perhaps there for Joke on You, but a lot of skill as well. And guys, for all of you newcomers to the Nova Cup, we do use a system known as Conquest. So once a team has won a game with one of the masterminds, they are no longer enabled to pick that mastermind for the rest of the series. So You Only Mine Once will not be able to use either Kingsguard or YOLO for the rest of this series, while King Dans and Isolde still able to pick all of the available masterminds.
Good note. I keep meaning to do that too. So yeah, YOLO, generally not a desirable mastermind, and the fact that they were able to win with, just such clarity, I think Jules also might have had something to do with that as well. Really trying to go for the underdogs here, give them a shot.
Well, we'll have to see, because from what I saw in game number 1, it's Isolde and King Downs who look like the underdogs, but we're about to find out, will they be able to bring the series to a tie, or will You Only Mine Once come in with a big upset and a 2-0 in the first series? We're about to find out, guys, because here is game number 2.
Game number 2 here, we have the Demon Miner picking the mastermind specifically made for him, Miner. And I think that is incredibly good for him. It's going to be a great display of the new mastermind, surely. For those of you who don't know, it's minus 15 starting gold. It is no income to start, but each worker only costs 45 gold instead of the 50 gold. So it's 10% off. Absolutely aptly named for him, the Demon Miner himself.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he has been playing Miner almost exclusively on his own stream, and I highly recommend checking out Asa Prenke if anybody hasn't seen him already. But for now, we'll have to see if all that practice is going to pay off for Demon Miner, because his plan here clearly is to push as many workers as humanly possible, and we'll have to see if he is able to do so. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Lock-in Random there for King Dans. His role, once again, not exactly the best, I would say. His teammate, however, Isolde, with the stash picked up, I think his role is pretty solid for Isolde.
I actually really kind of like King Dance's role. He's got a lot of good things going on. The Flower Atom is a good opener. He's got the Serpent, which is just an insanely strong unit for a lot of the waves that the Flower's not great. Atom and Serpent have a little bit of the same role to play, so to speak, but you do kind of really like the swift tanking that the Serpent can do at certain points. We do have also 2 stashes in the game. And yet, once again, for those at home, stash every time or whenever you need a big burst of money, just go ahead and break that little piggy bank. You can only do it once. If you leak, you get double the gold for each wave. It grows based on each wave, yada yada.
Mm-hmm. Very solid description there, Dark Sato. Demon Miner receiving a king upgrade here from Kingdan, so he's got the freest 6 workers of his life. He's actually trying to push to 7. I don't know. Does Miner enable that? How broken is the Mastermind? Hello? Not quite. He's actually 6 gold short of being able to push that 7th worker.
Yep. Nope. You get a little bit of extra time, and he would have been at that extra, like, that would have been a 7-worker 3 with Poda, a very expensive unit to open. Not bad. You definitely could have been behind that.
Alright, so we haven't yet seen any of those early game power mercs that we had quite a few of in the previous game, so we'll have to see if one of the teams decides to spice things up. We do have a decent chunk of Mythium stored already on Kingdan, so he is threatening something like a Brute on wave 4 into Demon Miner's Priestess, where it can be rather weak. We'll have to see if he does go for that or not.
I just don't think he would get it in income.
Yeah, he's
yes,
got it.
He would.
He's got it. He goes for the Fiend instead, though, which is fine as well. Like, you don't necessarily need to commit to a Power Mercenary this early in the game, because if it backfires, it can really hurt your long-term economy. So Kingdan's just playing it safe, going for the income send here, not necessarily hoping to break his opponent. But from what we can see of Demon Miner's build, I think a Brute would have done wonders into this.
Absolutely. He's really got no efficient damage for the wave. I mean, the little bit of pierce damage that comes from the pirate skeleton is so negligible because it's a cheap unit that you're supposed to either upgrade or sell. So it just kind of is a swift placeholder here for Demon Miner.
Yeah. I mean, he's nearly leaking to the Fiend send, so you can imagine if that was a Brute, then things could have been quite different. But it is what it is. Kingdan's is still at the very top of the power score charts over there on the right, so I think his decision is pretty good.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of saving too much Mythium into atoms, even flower atoms. I think that it's kind of just a strong opening, so Joke may be preparing something that I'm not entirely aware of, but hopefully whatever it is going to be nice and strong.
Yep. Alright, so we do have 3 of the 4 players saving their Mythium right now. Wave 6 looking a little bit dodgy for some of our players here, it's fair to say.
I definitely can echo that sentiment, and I think mostly on the east side teams here, are they possibly a little bit concerned about 6? And I mean, I guess Joke, not really. He's got the Zeuses or the bazookas.
Yeah.
They're really strong. Demon Miner could be in a little bit of trouble if he gets sent whatever could have been, but no sends really across the board.
No sense. There's income coming out from You Only Mine Once, so they probably were feeling a little bit of pressure here. But this could really play into the hands of the Ashton fans, because releasing all the pressure here with a send on 6 means the Ashton fans can push their workers, they can save if they want to. But looking at the builds here from Demon and Joke, I would think there's going to be a Wave 7 send coming up. However, I think 8 could be very spicy as well. We'll have to see.
8 has become spicy since the changes on Pack, where Pack feels kind of bad to send on any wave that is not ranged. You know, especially if that's going to be the only merc that you send. But yes, Wave 8 could have been very spicy instead. Yet again, we're seeing kind of the relief of pressure by sending income.
This is a really income-heavy game, actually. Quite different to the first game, where we had a ton of Power Mercenaries sent, and I think the Ashton fans were on something like 30% HP already on Wave 6. So, in contrast to this game here, where both teams are full HP on their king, we haven't seen a single drop of blood just yet.
Yup, definitely a different game. And again, you know, it's possible that King Dance and Isolde wanted to focus on improving their early game a little bit this time around, considering that was sort of where they struggled last time. Their late game rolls look pretty okay so far anyway, so the only one who's re-rolled so far is King Dance, where it looks like he picked up a Gate Guard, and I don't know how long he's been sitting on. I guess he also got the Pirate Skeleton to get rid of Flower.
Joke on you actually leaking 44% to the lizards here. So just imagine what could have been if that had been a full send coming out from Isolde. He would have leaked massively, I think.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Because it was all the little tiny baby slimes and or blobs, and then it would have just been free cleanup for all those lizards.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right. I mean, the old Julesometer up at the top is just showing that this is a very, very close game, basically neck and neck between the two teams, and there really isn't much separating them right now. So the overall workers are very similar, a slight advantage on the side of the Ashton fans, and a slight income advantage as well. But I think that's something that can easily be brought back by the side of You Only Mine Once, especially with those cheaper workers from the Demon Miner. Maybe he can start to pull ahead.
and I think that's the only thing that's really worth noting right now. Joke leaking to those lizards feels a little bit bad, and then not being two workers, three workers behind the enemies, uh, and leaking again here. So
Yeah.
Joke might start to fall off a little bit if they don't kind of restabilize.
Yeah, I mean, look, the early game leaks are fine to a degree, but this is 58% to a single fiend, right? Like, you're kind of okay to leak, but not this much to that little.
Right, especially when you are behind in workers to this extent, it
Right.
will snowball very quickly.
Yeah. Now we have full sends coming out from all four players, actually. This send from Kingdans into Demon Miner looking the scariest to me. We've got a Mimic coming out from him. We probably have Robo or Brute to be added after income. Demon Miner with 260 gold. What is he going to do to answer it? I guess he probably has to sell a Proton, build a ball? Oh, he re-rolled. He re-rolled and he found the
Just
gate guard.
re-rolled.
That's
Yep.
really, really good.
Kind of lucky, but that's what rerolls are for. And, if we're not playing Chaos, so we can't perfectly roll whatever it is we need for every wave. In this case here, we are going to save this wave pretty well with these gate guards. I don't think we hold still, but I think we do
Yeah.
much better
Oh, they're
than
actually
what we
getting
had.
overwhelmed. They didn't get that second summon out, and that's crucial for Gateguard performance. This is still going to be a pretty bad leak for Demon Miner, despite finding that Gateguard. It's 83%. However, Isolde, 85 as well. King Dance, he holds his full send, as does Joke on You. So we've got two players leaking quite a lot, and we've got their teammates pulling it out of the bag, able to hold their own lane. So still a decent bit of king damage being dealt to the side of You Only Mine Once, while the Ashton fans, I think there was slightly more cover there from Isolde, from King Dan's.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, for certainly. Everyone who was pushed were the ones who, leaked,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, that I think it favours the side of the Ashton fans, not only because they dealt more king damage there on Wave 9, but also look at King Dan's with his 17 workers leading the pack here in a big way in game number 2. And the long waves with those leaks really favours the player who has the most workers.
Absolutely. You do see that King Dan's just had the opportunity to upgrade the Serpent, but decided against that, instead opting for the Spectral Scallywag, looking for a little bit more tank value for those atoms, I'm assuming. Um,
Now, there was actually a full send here with Joke on You adding a robo after income, hoping to cause a leak here because King Dance, he is on shutdown right now. So a free 25 gold would be very, very juicy for the side of You Only Mine Once, and it looks like it has been successful. However, Demon Miner and Joke on You, they both leak as well. So sure, they get the shutdown here, 25 gold, but at what cost, Seto? They're going to lose another chunk of King HP.
Another chunk of the King HP, the most amount of gold that you can get from the Granddaddy. If you kill it is 150. If you don't kill it, you lose automatically at least 20 gold. So that's just more gold going into their enemies' pockets. So they got the 25 shutdown, but they also lost Granddaddy gold.
Yeah. All
Basically
right.
evens out.
And Jules has decided to step in and jinx this game with a big 69% win probability for the Ashton fans, which means they are doomed.
Yeah, that was really rude. I was really ready to celebrate, pat myself on the back. I'd only been wrong twice this game, and then bam, out comes the 69.
Alright, we'll have to see if the Ashton fans are able to overcome the curse and win this game. They're in a really strong position right now, so can they convert it into a win, or will Demon Miner and Joke on You manage to come back with a bit of a miracle it would take from here, I think?
Yeah, I mean, while you and I don't have the script, it is written. It is written in the prophecies, 69%, and it's sealed.
Alright, so all four players saving their Mythium right now. When do we think there's going to be an aggressive play? I could see 13, I could see 14. We'll have to see what the players go for next.
I think 14 is the most correct call, because like unless it's sort of like a split send or an income send from like one of the teammates, I don't think that 13 is necessarily the call. I think everyone's pretty okay
Yeah.
on 13 so far.
No, I think both of our stash players still have their stash available as well, so that's something to bear in mind, because if they read the send correctly, break open that piggy bank, it can put them in really, really good stead. Alright, here comes the
So
send.
what?
It's wave 13 from everybody. Okay, will we see some broken stashes?
I see some double hermits, and that's not
Uh-oh.
usually done at this level.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, the Hermit Aura does not stack, so sending two of those bad boys, bit of a waste, maybe a misclick there from Isolde, proving that mechanics still important in an auto battler game.
It's true. His APM was just a little too heavy, I think.
Alright, it
All
looks
right.
like the players have not broken their stashes open. A little bit greedy from both Joke and Isolde, because the chunk of gold there would have almost guaranteed a hold for both players. As it is, we'll have to see if anybody is able to hold. The sends here not too huge for any of our players. Demon Miner looks like he's doing incredibly well. The off-tanking there between the Azeria and the Starcaller is just beautiful to see. What is not so great, though, he was attacking two separate units, so he killed neither instead of both. That's a leak for 3 out of 4 players, but King Downs leading the pack, holds his lane with enough units left alive to fully cover his teammates' leak as well. So really, really strong performance from King. Meanwhile, You Only Mine Once, they're dropping yet more King HP all the way down to 32%. And the Ashton fans, they've all but won this one, Seto. So, I don't know. You Only Mine Once, they need to make something happen right now.
Yep, fully agree. Just to make sure that I'm very clear and I get my credit where credit is due, I think that was only a half wrong out of me there, because I think that income sending King Dans instead of real sending the GK, the Brute, and a King up would have been a much better call here for Joke.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everyone else was about as we expected on 13.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, if Joke had just popped his stash, he's pretty much guaranteed to hold and maybe even cover his teammates' leaks as well. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of... I think we see it way too often, even in these Nova Cup games, where players just hold their stash for far longer than is sensible.
Right. It would have been such a slingshot move if he were to have used it there. He would have been able to spend that gold on units and then giga push afterwards.
Yeah. Well, surely he breaks his stash open now, because this wave 15 is about to decide the game one way or another, I think. We've got full sends coming out from all 4 players. Demon Miner and Joke on You, they need to hold here if they want to stay in the game, so Joke on You, please break open your piggy bank.
Yep, both players have used their stashes. It was 445 for Joke, so slightly better than Isolda's in the sense that he leaked just a little bit more. Totally okay. You want to leak just a teeny tiny bit, get that morsel, that extra crumb of gold out from stash.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty close to value as a result, so let's see. Will that piggy bank breaking open be enough to keep You Only Mine Once in this game? I'm going to keep my eyes on Joke on U's lane because I think everything comes down to this one. Oh no, his Vulcan Cannon goes down. It was tanking too much, and Joke on You, despite breaking open that stash, it looks like he's leaking way too much, and I think that means game 2 is donezo because his teammate's doing phenomenally well. It's just not going to be quite enough, I'm afraid. There's 50% leak there for Joke, 70% for Demon Miner, and with just 34% HP on the King, game number 2 almost certainly going in favour of the Ashton fans.
Yup, somehow, some way, King Dan's and Isolde turn down Jules' 69 and say, "Victory. You keep this."
And victory, very, very well deserved indeed. Super well played for those guys, and that means we now have a tied series on our hands. So 1-1 with everything to play for as we go into game number 3. So a couple of masterminds now taken out of the pool for King Dan's and Isolde because they have used lock-in and they have used stash. So with the Conquest format, once again, they are not able to pick those masterminds again for the rest of the series. Meanwhile, You Only Mine Once, they cannot pick Kingsguard or YOLO. But there's still a lot of masterminds available in the pool, and I think we're going to have a pretty exciting game number 3. Seto, I mean, that was completely different to the way game number 1 went. If you remember back in game number 1, You Only Mine Once, they were absolutely demolishing their opponents, knocking them about the park left, right and centre, and then here in game number 2 it was a pretty similar story in favour of King Dan's and Isolde, so we'll have to see which team is going to keep that momentum in game number 3, but if you ask me, this can go either way.
It absolutely can. And thinking back now, I was memeing a little bit on the double Hermit on 13 from Isolde, and maybe it was actually Giga Brained, you know? Like, it worked. So we have that going for us. Yeah, King Dan's was just angry at that game. Like, everything that was thrown at him, he just chewed it up and spit it back out at the opponent. Like, there's just nothing they could do.
Yeah. I mean, it was that was a renewed King Dance, back to his old glory. So maybe he just needed to shake off the cobwebs in game number 1. That's all the practice he needs, and now he's ready to wipe the tournament clean. We'll have to see if he keeps up that level of play here in game number 3. Now, remember, guys, there is a double elimination here in the group stage of Nova Cup, so the winner of this series will go through to the upper bracket. The loser is not out of the tournament yet. They do get another chance in the lower bracket, and then we'll get to see who makes it through to the quarterfinals tomorrow. But for now, we have a game number 3 on our hands, guys. Remember, the series is tied 1-1, so who is going to take it and secure that place in the upper bracket? Let's find out. It's game number 3. Alright, Joke on You straight back into that stash play, so not satisfied with the way it went in game number 2, he's going right back to the stash, and let's see, can he play it a little bit better this time around?
He's got a good role for Stash too. Like, he could baby leak a couple things almost intentionally if he wanted to, or with Warp Wing, sometimes you might just barely not be able to get that threshold out, and it'll leak 1 or 2 creeps. So definitely some possibilities here if he wants to play a greedy Stash. Same mastermind from Slicky this time too, or Demon Miner in that minor mastermind there. So a little bit of a slower start, unless he can get a 5-worker start, 235 monies to start, and no income.
Yep. Alright, and we actually see a Fiesta pickup here from King Dan's in lane 1, so anyone who's interested in seeing that high leak, high octane gameplay, well, you're in for a treat here in game number 3. Let's see how King Dan's plays this mastermind. Remember, one of the best players in the game. How's he going to play this controversial mastermind?
I'm sure the answer is very skillfully. Part of the joy that comes from Cartel is having a long lane, and sometimes that means sacrificing, or sorry, a long opening, and sometimes that means sacrificing your own game to get those leaks, but when your teammate is the one who's extending the waves, it feels extra good here. But
Yeah,
bad call on that snail. Should have been the
yeah.
other way.
Yeah, a little bit of a misread there. So Demon Miner and Joke did correctly read that there was going to be a Fiesta pickup here, but they sent the snail to the wrong player. Very unfortunate indeed, because King Dance would have leaked a lot, I think.
Yep. And Demon Miner here getting that 5 worker open and getting away with it. Didn't get snailed there. Should be able to mostly hold this wave 2 here. Feeling pretty good about that opening, I think, right about now.
Yeah. Alright, more snails coming out here. King Dan's did go to 6 workers here, so the snail coming out from Joke on You will punish this. It should be quite a heavy leak here on wave 2. Alright, let's see. Snail does go right. The Boz, of course, can never kill it. How quickly will this consort die?
I believe this is like a 60 or 70%, but he still gets that extra worker.
Yeah. So 75% there for King Dans. But Joke on You, he's on 6 workers as well over there in lane 4. So, you know, this long wave is not exactly favouring King Dans, and quite a lot of gold going in favour of Joke on You as well by causing these leaks.
Yep. We all know that Fiesta, or sending into Fiesta players, feels good to get that little bit extra gold. However, when you are the Fiesta player and you're able to get that extra little bit of gold, feels even better. While Demon Miner did get away with that opening for 5 workers, he is not looking that great this wave.
No, the first power mercenary send of the game here coming out from King Dans into Demon Miner here on wave 3. It is a Robo Snail, 60 Mythium. Demon Miner not great on this wave at all. Robo is not going straight on the Gate Guard though, so a piece of luck there. Will his Gate Guard get this summon out before it dies? It needs to. This is so important. It does not! Oh no, a very slow summon timer there on the Gate Guard. Still, only a 36% leak. I thought this was going to be worse than it was. A Sol Day, however, we need to find our Waldo emotes. Because, I mean, Joke on You, sorry, he received only an income send and actually leaks more than his teammate who got the Robo. You need to be covering those, Joke.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate here. Slime Mommy getting hit with the ban or the Nerf Hammer for the 17th time in a row. I'm going to blame Jules. Because it's disgusting, honestly. Keep your hands off of her, for the love of God.
Alright, now I would love to say that the long waves are favouring You Only Mine Once for having more workers, but that's simply not the case. We've got King Dans with a phenomenal 8 workers here on wave 4, his teammate not far behind on 7, so the Ashton fans, if you're a fan of the Ashton fans, this game 3 already off to a very good start.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong showing here for King Dans and Isolde, and I mean, they only need one more to win the day here, or at least this series. And if that happens, we get to be right, which so rarely happens. So let's go, King Dans and Isolde. Never has this meant so much.
Never has this meant so much to so little.
Exactly. So meaningless.
King Dans is leaking quite a lot, more or less every wave. Now, obviously, the leaks are less punishing because he's Fiesta, but these percentages are rather high. Like, wave 1, 33%, that's perfect. But then we have 75, 49, 67, so quite heavy leaks there. And the gold loss does start to add up.
Well, it does, and thankfully there's this handy little feature where if you hover over his name in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that he's up at 44 gold, but down 58 gold. So a little bit rough here, especially because this wave could be kind of funny if that Robo goes straight onto. It doesn't, but if it goes onto the Pilgrim.
In one of the earlier games, we mentioned that the Desert Pilgrim is one of the best units in the game on wave 5, and that's true, but this thing didn't have much tank value behind it, so was able to get sniped rather quickly. However, King Dan's still performing pretty well. If he had been able to kill that Robo with the Aqua Bounces, this would have been a fantastic hold. Not quite able to do so, however, so 53% is the result.
And Joke here wasn't ever really going to be that great. Like he had the Pilgrim, again, great unit. We keep seeing it, and it's great for theming and callbacks. But aside from that, he really didn't have much else for this wave. So
Yeah.
only leaking that little bit to the income send is kind of fortunate. He got bailed out kind of a little bit.
Indeed, indeed. The worker situation has changed slightly, however. So Demon Miner, starting to live up to his name, has taken the lead with 10 workers here on wave 6. All of our other players, they're still on 9, so it's not exactly a huge gap, but an advantage is an advantage.
Or certainly, I think we start to see stabilization come out from King Dan's, hopefully sooner rather than later, because you know, he still leaked was greater than 50% last wave, I believe, or just about. So not great. Does say they're in the lead, but Demon Miner here getting that 10 workers first is great for that side.
Yeah. But you only mine once. They have a pretty massive pressure advantage right now with 140, 120 Mythium for the players, and a long wave being caused here. Demon Miner leaking 50% to the Cannoneer kind of goes in favour of the saving team, to be honest. Looks like Demon Miner just going for income here. Understandable. Isolde very, very strong on wave 7. The joke on you, however, he has that big Mimic shift clicked, and I think that looks really good into King Dan's lane. So let's see.
Yup, gets it thanks to Demon Miner's baby leak here, and nothing to worry about. I am very excited to see how much money we can gobble up here from that. Oh no, from that Mimic, but the Avenger, if that thing gets to pop this wave, is going to do a ton of work.
Oh, for sure. The Mimic, though, pretty good against an Avenger, right? Swift armor on the Avenger, pierce damage on the Mimic, and the Mimic, of course, very, very good at killing all of King Dan's other tanks as well. Now, the one thing going in favour of King Dan's is that he's very, very high value, so we'll have to see. 200 is a pretty big send to receive on wave 7. Will the Mimic be enough to break his defences?
Oh, the Mimic going straight onto the Avenger. I'm going to give that pretty big thumbs up
Yeah,
here
but his
because that
split
was the
tanking is
unit
so
needed to hit.
good. You've got the consort is tanking, the Avenger is tanking, the Pilgrim is healing it all up meanwhile, and he's going to leak, sure, but he's leaking literally the Mimic and like the Robo and nothing else. He's killed every single wave creep. That's a really good performance from King Dance. This was a 200 Mythium send.
Yes, if the Mimic, though, can eat up every single slime, come on!
It cannot. Slime Mummy OP, that thing needs less damage. Come on, man.
No, no, stop it!
Jules?
Jules.
Alright, we have a
So,
full Power Mercenary resend coming out from Isolde into Joke on You. Joke has sniffed it out, however, he's staying pretty high value. He's built the Chieftain, he's got the Spectral Scallywag. This should be an easy hold here on Wave 8.
fully agree. I don't know if Demon Miner is planning on building any kind of larger unit soon. However, they are lacking a little bit of damage. Like, they're okay this wave and probably 9, but they will need some kind of carry unit very soon here. Joke doing exactly as we thought he would. Very, very well here. His damage looks great.
This is an easy hold for Joke. Even if his Spectral Scallywag does go down, which it does eventually, he still has a Slime Mummy and half HP on his Chieftain, so he wasn't even remotely close to leaking here, I think, against the 140, 160 Mythium resend.
Nope, it looks like big sends are just not working this game. Big sends don't equal value, it seems.
Yeah. Big sends, tiny prizes, it seems, so far in game number 3. If we look at the worker situation, however, 2 of our players are 20 workers here on wave 9. 21, in fact, as Demon Miner thinks that pushy, one more is the solution. His value is looking dangerously low, however. The fact that King Downs is going for a round of income and King is going to be very, very welcome here in the side of Demon Miner, because he could have been very vulnerable to a save send.
Absolutely. We do keep seeing these kind of weird bailouts, I guess, as well. Like, on waves that I think people are going to be a little more suspect than I think they should be. They keep getting income sends into them. For example, Demon Miner, but King Dan's here looking very suspicious.
This is a surprise, actually. King Dan's leaking 50% to an income send. That's a bit of an unusual error that we don't often see from the King. He's very low value, of course, with his 21 workers, but yeah, that's a bit of a punish, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely a punish there. Um, could have been worse. I mean, he got bailed out. He got, the Fiend and income sent into him. Demon
Mhm.
Miner here. Wow, that's a lot of brutes on 10 here.
Yeah, we've got a
Big
lot of
threats
brutes
called.
coming out from a lot of players, with a robo added from Demon Miner as well. Is anybody going to be able to hold? Joke on you, the one player going for an income send, although King Dan's has this Sovereign, so yeah, I mean, he's basically able to hold more or less anything that Joke can throw at him with that low Mythium count. So the real story is going to be whether Isolde, Demon Miner are able to hold, because they're receiving some pretty big sends. 200 Mythium for both Demon Miner and Joke on you. 340 Mythium walking into a Solda's lane here on wave 10 is rather rude, I think it's fair to say. That will be a decent leak on him. King Dan's Joke did add a Brute into that send after income. Is it enough? It does kill the Avenger. Is King Dan's leaking here with a Sovereign on 10? He is. A Solday 100%, King Dan's 45%, Demon Miner 57, Joke on you, the only player holding here on wave 10, and the Ashton fans, they're dropping a decent chunk of King HP right now.
I'm actually really shocked, and I'm sure you are as well, that the Avenger leaked to income and a brute. So, uh, I mean, I guess that was his only damage and tank, so it worked. It's all I got.
Yeah. A really solid hold there from Joke. That was important.
Ooh.
I mean, he received the 200 Mythium send as well, so super, super clutch from him. He's on fire as a result, and if we look at that win probability up at the top, Jules is now pretty heavily in favour of you only mine once. So, determined to prove the casters wrong once again, it seems. The players today are really making things spicy.
I mean, thankfully, we know that it's not over once the game is over. However, 3 overworks and then Joke going for maybe a taxed allowance.
Yeah, taxed allowance for Joke on you. Okay. Alright, so overwork picked up. Does this equal a big wave 12 send in that case? It certainly could be. Joke on you does have his reroll available and his stash, I would imagine. Let me double check. It looks like yes.
Yep, it looks like yes. I think I would rather AOA over a taxed allowance if we're going to send 12 regardless.
Yeah, right.
No? Like we have the stash to act as our taxed allowance.
Or I guess he's
I'm
just playing to
confused.
hold.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of
Well,
workers. I feel like overwork would have been really good for him.
yeah. I don't know. I'll sort that one out later. Like we don't really have the damage here where even the tankage really even on this wave, so maybe a little bit of confusing send. Maybe he is as big brained as I said he was at the beginning of the game. Yep, see that as well. Poor alpha male.
Yeah, he's
The
going to need
builder
to
looking big.
build quickly. He's got 200 gold to play with.
And done.
Okay, alright. Big sends all around from the 400 to 500 Mythium range. Is anybody going to be able to hold here? Joke did not break his stash, so once again, greed here. Will it pay off for him? Demon Miner, that Oathbreaker is tanking like an absolute dream. His Doppelganger dishing out the damage meanwhile. That's a very solid performance there from our Demon Miner. Isolde's leaked 54%. That's pretty good, honestly. 68 for Demon Miner. That's 33 for Joke. Very good performance, but a leak nonetheless. And King Dan's, wow, I mean, he's leaking only the 4 eyes and that on low HP, so big sends all around, but only relatively small leaks.
Yep. However, this is long wave 12 where 3 players took overwork, so they are now sitting at half the workers, or roughly half the
Yeah.
workers, while it's all cooling down. Meanwhile, Big Brain Joke here, not breaking stash, shifting 48 gold last wave, and ultimately getting all of the benefit of those extra workers and being 32, 35 workers now for Demon Miner and Joke.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was certainly a very, very good trade for Joke on you. He didn't have the overwork penalty on 12. And yeah, I mean, we see it now. He's at the top of the power score. He's on fire once again. He's got way more Mythium than anyone else in the game. And yeah, things are looking pretty good for You Only Mine Once.
Still not breaching the threshold and tempting Jules with a 69 here, so that is probably going to work in their favor, despite the fact that the number is lower than, like, because normally big number means better, but in this case, you would hate to succumb to some kind of curse here.
Yeah.
So what is the next big play? What's the next wave our players are super vulnerable?
Let me have a look. 15, I would guess. King Downs can be very, very strong there. Actually, Joke on You looking very weak on 14, but Demon Miner has good answers there. I mean, it's already wave 14, so we know it won't be 14.
Yeah, no, thankfully we have the power of hindsight here and seeing that 14 is not the call. I do think 15 looks very solid for some of our players. Oh, interestingly, we are hardening here on this wave 14 from King Dan's.
Yeah, it's understandable, honestly. He's so strong on 15 with the Chieftains and the Green Devil. One of the best combos to be able to hold wave 15.
Yep, he did actually second guess himself and decide that 2 hardened Mudmen was not going to be enough to make him hold here anyway, if worse came to worse. So he now does have the Golem moving forward if he needs it.
And that's good. Good last second decision. We do get the 15 send coming out from King Dan's, but a Solday just going for the income send. Oh no! I mean, I can kind of see why. Expecting Joke on You to be super strong here on 15, but it just seems like such a throw to go for an income send when you're already behind. You need to make something happen.
They are prolonging the game here to, I guess, the for now benefit. At least Demon Miner and Joke are not sending here, except for the taunt snail. But if Genom's if Isolde is not going to leak their opponent anyway, this is a fine call. And
yeah, but here's the thing, Seto. So sure, Demon Miner's going to leak here quite a lot. I think like the 720 send is pretty big into him. Joke on You will of course hold the income send, but what this really means is that wave 17 is now wide open for the side of You Only Mine Once. King Dan's looks really weak there, Isolde not much better. And yeah, they can continue to save. They are not under any pressure after this wave 15 send, and I highly expect this game to end on 17 with a big send from the side of Yomo.
Yeah, no, fully agree. That was that was clever. That's why I said, the for now this feels good because, but yeah, no, you're opening up 17. 16's now off the table. That could have been a little bit scary. Now we are afraid. Anyway, so 85% now from the Julesometer is kind of a big tell of where things are. They skipped right over the 69. The shutdown values are now 175 gold each. And I can also switch mics if we need to later. But basically, we do have delay at a king. Like, if he is able to get the tanks down that he needs, you do see him already prepping that mud golem for next wave.
Yeah.
To be some tank value. If he can delay long enough and get enough of those hell spawns out and, some kind of miracle. Like, I'm obviously just making stuff up at this point, but
no,
who knows?
King Dan's absolutely made the correct read here, so he fully built for wave 17, not for wave 16, and we'll have to see if it pays off for him here, because these sends coming out from the side of Yomo are absolutely huge. We've got north of 1,000 Mythium from both players walking into the lanes of King Dan's and Isolde. King Dan's, who was looking pretty weak on 17 just a couple of short waves ago, now looking very strong indeed with the Hellgate, with, count them, 5, 6, 7, 8 fully hardened mudmen, and actually still 2 more to come. So that's going to be 10 mudmen all getting hard here on wave 17, and King Dans has done everything he can to be able to hold here. Will it be enough? Isolde, I think, just doesn't have a hope in hell. He's minus 1100 value here, and the Sens Seto are enormous. 1,500 Mythium walking into the lanes, both of King Dans and Isolde. Will either player be able to hold? I'm focusing on King's lane because I think he has the best chance here. The Four Eyes already attacking those Sovereigns, so those things will go down rather quickly. The Mudmen did do their job in stalling for as long as possible, though. Isolde, meanwhile, 130% leak for him. Joke on you leaking as well. King Dans, it all comes down to this lane. He needs to do extremely well if they are able to survive this. He does leak, though, and I think that's going to be game over in favour of Team Yomo.
This is going to be very close. You can see both kings going down, and this is going to be one of those times where I make a joke and some people are going to get it. This is potentially, or could have been, a gate diff, but this time it would have been the King Dan's gate diff with those hell gates. It was so close. It was so close to being just enough to hold. If they were able to send better, send whatever, the gates opened up for Demon Miner and Joke on You and made it that much closer to being the 85% upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was super close. Like, we were saying how heavily the game was going in favor of Joke on You and Demon Miner, and it was. And even so, even from a really, like, far behind position, King Dans and Isolde were still almost able to win this game, ending up in a race with the enemy king on around 10% HP or so, I think it was. But ultimately, Joke on You and Demon Miner were able to secure victory in this series. That means those guys are going to move up to the upper bracket match after the break, while King Dans and Isolde, they're not out yet, but they do have to fight their way through that lower bracket match if they want to stay in the tournament. So, guys, we do like to have a quick 10-minute break in between series just to give players and casters a little bit of a rest in between games, because yapping this much for this long is hard work, right, Seto? And yeah, but don't go anywhere, because the next series is set to be an absolute banger of a game. Do we have the opponents confirmed yet for King Dans and Isolde? Huh. So, Mind Your Business have not finished that series yet. So that is the Adam's Atrocity game. In fact, we may be able to hop in and catch the very end of this one, because Mind Your Business are currently 1-1 against Witcher and Eidetic. So they're on wave 17 right now. This game probably will end very, very shortly. But Seto, let's see if we can hop into this game and see the last wave or two.
Indeed, we can. So it looks like we had a little bit of mid-game aggression here. We do see some embargoes that happen, so I wonder what those wave 13, 14s look like. Could have been very exciting. No sends here on 17. We do see some Mythium saved up here, so it looks like there was probably a wave 16 send. And based on what I can tell right now, 19's not looking too shabby for Atrocity and Adamus if they wanted to send. Like, they were both strong, but their opponents don't look super great.
Alright, so it looks like we've got a wave 18 send coming out here from Witcher and Eidetic. Atrocity and Adams opting not to send here. They want to stockpile their bricks and they want to build fighter value. Will they have enough value, however? They're both on fire, so they've been doing something right. It's often interesting to join midway through a game and have to work out exactly what's going on, but it looks like if Atrocity and Adams are able to survive this wave 18 send, then they're almost guaranteed to win the game here. But let's see, because the sends coming out are not too shabby from Witcher and Eidetic.
Yeah, it looks like it may have been a double Sui play from Witcher and Eidetic. So they're sitting at 53 and 57 workers, but you know, their power score says that might have come a little bit later, and it might have been a little bit of a cheeky push here. So This is kind of their surprise Hail Mary, I think, and if they are able to get work done here, which it looks pretty good, considering Hades is normally like the 18 killer, if we could
Yeah,
leak,
but I just don't know if it's enough though, Seto. They'll get a lot of gold from this if it does leak, because this thing is no joke against the Needler.
yeah, nope,
It
that's
wins.
the
It wins the fight. So Dams doesn't even leak, and sure, Atrocity does. That's a bit of gold, a bit of shutdown, but it's just not going to be enough. And here comes the counterplay. Atrocity and the Dams looking to close out the game on wave 19.
Yep, there it is. I really like the surprise Sui play. It almost worked out. But unfortunately, yeah, the Catapult versus Needler, it looks like Catapult wins 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. That's not even... Oh, it is the upgraded one. Okay, never mind.
No, that'd be broken if the little Catapult could be a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
360 Mythium unit. That'd be a Jules moment for certainly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, okay, so Witcher and Eidetic both heavily, heavily undervalue here on wave 19. They are pretty much relying on a miracle to stay in this game, but I don't see it happening here. And Atrocity and the Dams almost certain to be the victors here.
Yep. We do see the, not that it matters that much, but we do see the GK move off to the right here because of that snail that was sent into Witcher, but... You know, again, not that it matters that much. I guess the veterans can focus it a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, Witcher's doing about as well as could be expected, but unfortunately that is just not well enough. Eidetic, meanwhile, that's 137% leak for him, 120 for Witcher, and yeah, you only might... Eidetic and Witcher, unaware of their team name, they put up a valiant effort here, going 2-1 against the side of Adams and Atrocity, but ultimately Adams and Atrocity coming out victorious, and that means we have an absolute banger of a match in the upper bracket coming up after the break, Seto, because that is going to be Demon Miner and Joke on You going head-to-head against Atrocity and Adams. So that's going to be one heck of an exciting series for sure. So, for all of the viewers in Twitch chat, once again, welcome to all of our new friends joining through the Epic Games free week. We hope you're enjoying the show. We hope you're enjoying the game as well. For now, we're going to have a quick 10-minute break before we get onto that upper bracket match. So don't go anywhere. We are going to leave you with some lo-fi Yozora beats, and we will be right back. Until then, goodbye. right, welcome back, everybody. You are here in time for that upper bracket match about to begin in just a couple of minutes' time. And Seto, as discussed before the break, our contestants in this upper bracket match will be King Dans and Isolde, making up the side of remind me, the Ashton fans, of course, yes, and their opponents, Demon Miner and Joke on You, team You Only Mine Once. Also, I got that completely wrong. It is not King Dans and Isolde. That was the first series. It is Adams and Atrocity, and they are team Mine Your Business. So, just to confuse the casters even more than we are already, this series will be Mine Your Business versus You Only Mine Once. There's a lot of mining going on this month, it seems. Everybody excited about that new mastermind. And this is promising to be a banger of a series. We saw some really good play from both sides, actually, because we did manage to catch the very end of the Atrocity Adams game. So in their first series of the day, both sets of teams have been playing extremely well, and I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us in this upper bracket match. Any bold predictions from yourself, Dark Seto?
Yeah, Atrocity and Adams, I think so. God, can I say 2-1 again? I mean, I feel like this is going to be another 2-1 again because I think Demon Miner and Joke on You, when they hit, the magic is great. However, Atrocity is just such a smart, cerebral player. They also, as in, they have knowledge. They have figured out 89% of all possible moves in this game. And that's a lot because I'm sure the answer is like Quinn Googles or whatever, you know. Adamus is very intelligent as well, a wonderful, awesome player. So I think while it looks like Witcher and Eidetic put up a hell of a fight, I think Atrocity and Adamus are just the strongest team here today.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair call, and my instinct would be to give it to Atrocity and Adams as well. Probably again in a 2-1, but Seto, we already underestimated Demon Miner and Joke on You in that first series, and they proved just how wrong we were, with some very impressive play indeed in both games 1 and 3, which secured their place here in the upper bracket match. So Atrocity and Adams, I do agree with you, they're probably slightly favoured, but Demon Miner, Joke on You, we cannot rule these guys out. They absolutely have a shot of winning here and securing their place in tomorrow's quarter-finals or semi-finals. But yeah, we'll have to see. Is there a lobby available? It looks like there is. Not? No, yes.
Yes.
Okay, we got that. We found it. All right. So, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, I think we're going to see some very high-octane mining gameplay. Lots of workies being pushed, lots of baby leaks fam, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting match.
I very much want to see the early saving because you do expect someone to pick Miner as it is the new hotness, especially for Demon Miner himself. And I feel like that is the easiest way you can really stifle someone's mining game.
Yeah, but unless he brings a canary, of course. It looks like the players are ready, so we should be able to get this upper bracket match underway any second now. And yeah, we'll have to see which team is going to be able to take the first game of the series. All the players are ready, so the padding surely will come to an end and the game will commence. Right?
Any moment now. He says starting, and therefore we are starting now.
Come on, guys, you're killing us. All right, there we go. The padding is over, finally, my god. And the game is about to commence. If Adams can just load into the lobby, then I can stop talking and we can start playing. He's done it! Hurrah! Game number 1 of this upper bracket match is here. We have Mine Your Business on the left versus You Only Mine Once on the right. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's see. Snap pick YOLO once again from Joke on You. Exactly the same strategy he opened with against King Dans and Isolde. His role this time around, though, Definitely not as impressive as it was in that game in against King Dance.
Yep. I don't know if this is a Halo Steed game where you kind of build the Halo on one side, a bunch of steeds on the other. I guess not. Then I guess we're going to Yozora and probably some snake play here. Makes you a little bit sus on 5. Uh, kind of a suspect role here. I
Yeah.
think the APS is basically a dead unit unless you get a Ring of Zeus's.
Uh,
Hmm.
Actually, I can see the line here for Joke. So the line is Yozora on 1, Serpent on 3, Deep Coiler on 5. I think anything other than that, and it's a very, very clunky role to play, but specifically those 2 units in that order, and this is quite playable. So I can see the line, but it still falls off heavily in the late game.
And that's it. Is his late game is it's not great. He doesn't have a late game carry. That is a good line because Wave 5, as long as you survive that with the Serpent and the Azora, you're very well suited to survive 6 and then 7 and 8. Next, you have to worry about 9.
Yeah. What's more, he even receives the snail here on wave 1 from Adams, so that's actually pretty huge because that extra tiny bit of gold from the snail is enough for Joke on You to be able to push 5 workers here at the end of wave 1 and not have to wait for wave 2.
Yep, feels very good. Yet again, Demon Miner here getting away with the gate card open, so the 5 worker open, and then just has to survive 3. But this time he's got the slime for that, so not looking as bad as he was the last time we visited him with
Mm-hmm.
this miner open.
Now, Demon Miner has sent a snail here, wave 2, into Adams, who looks like he's going to risk it here, shifting 42 gold. This will be a decent leak now. He did at least add the Goblin Copter, so that's a decent bit of damage to help his Whirlybird one-shot the wave, but it's going to be a leak nonetheless. We'll have to see percentage-wise.
Yep, I think I've been seeing this kind of a lot here. That just putting the Goblin Copter just below the Whirlybird,
Yeah,
and I think what it does is it just kind of helps focus the fire just a little bit more so that you get as small a leak as possible. And it seems effective. I was always in the mind that you put it off in the split, therefore it takes longer to get over to your main Whirlybird. But this seems to be more effective because the better players are doing it.
yeah.
It's that simple.
Now, Joke did decide to go for a different line to the one I suggested, so he's instead gone 6 workers, and he's going for Bazooka here on 3, presumably a Zeus then on 5. Now, it's an okay line, but it makes him significantly weaker on 5 and 7 than the Deep Coiler would, so we'll have to see. I mean, he also has the worker advantage, so it's not quite as straightforward as all that.
Unfortunately, here the gate guard just dying instantly for Slick.
Oh no, another gate guard disaster. And that's a 56% leak, while I feel like he could have done much, much better. That's quite unfortunate for him. Joke on You won't be able to full cover either. That does mean first blood dealt to the king here on wave 3 for the side of Mind Your Business.
Yep, we do see 8 workers though out of Joke, so he is comfortable in his position. He does have good tanks this wave. He doesn't have good damage, but next wave with the Zeus, he will be able to kill Scorpion King, barring some kind of insane send into him. He should hold everything because he's getting sent here. Feeling really good about his position. But as you said, wave 7 without that deep coiler, looking possibly a little bit sus.
Yeah. Alright, so all of our players should be fine here. Adams, I mean, with the Treant edition here on 4, should be completely fine, even though he did receive that naughty fiend. Yeah, he's going to be okay. Joke on You, however, I mean, he's very low value there on 280, but leaking to the Lizard, I don't know, man. I just feel like if these 2 bazookas were 1 serpent instead, for the same gold cost, by the way, he'd be in such a better position right now. Like you trade off getting that 6th worker slightly sooner, but then he
Mhm.
doesn't leak on 3, he doesn't leak on 4, he's going to be much stronger on 5.
So Adamas here with the redraw, deciding that even though he rolled Pilgrim, it's not coming out this wave.
Okay.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, his build is really strong here on 5. He's going to be
It
okay.
is.
But we have power sends coming out from both Joke and Atrocity. Atrocity, he gets this Sea Dragon edition on 5, which is an absolute dream if it's healing up a Spectral Scallywag with Champion as well. So I think Atrocity, despite the 140 Mythium send, is going to do really, really well here. The key is whether or not this Sea Dragon survives, and it does, so he's going to do phenomenally well. Let's hop over to Demon Miner, who also received 100 Mythium send here. Double Robo, that is going to break him quite badly, it looks like. Joke on you, meanwhile, 36% to a Fiend. Demon Miner, 68 to the full send. That means Joke earns the Waldo badge because you only mine once. They're about to take a decent chunk of king damage. Atrocity did leak as well, but meanwhile his teammate is able to fully cover that, so no king damage dealt to the side of Mine Your Business. Apart from some.
Just a smidge.
That's
just
fair.
a little bit more than none.
Just a tickle.
All right. So all of that, washing out now, I think let's take a moment and kind of assess. Our friend, the Demon Miner, is sitting at 9 workies. That is the least in the game. And, things have not necessarily been going their way, and times are a little bit tough, but I think it's time for us to mine like a demon.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're in a position where you're playing Miner and you have the fewest workers in the game, then maybe something's gone wrong.
Yep, it is minus 15 to start. However, we are well past that minus 15. We had the 5 worker open. We broke even really early, as in immediately. The only thing we ever lost was the 0 income start. So yeah, let's get pushing. Pushy, pushy.
Bushy, bushy. Staying on 9 for now, though. We'll have to see, because all of our players are stockpiling bricks. We do have this Mimic coming out here on Wave 7 from Adams. We've got a couple of Brutes from the Demon Miner as well. But let's hop over to Joke on Use lane, because this is the downside of that risky YOLO pickup. He just simply does not have any good answers for Wave 7, specifically against Mimic as well. So I expect this to be a pretty bad leak here from Joke on You on 7. Checking out Adam's lane, meanwhile, he has the Nightmare and quite a few good arcane tanks as well. So despite receiving 160 Mythium Send of his own, I think Adams is going to do way better here, Wave 7. So let's hop back over to Joke and we'll see the Mimic doing its thing, chomping through that swift front line of Joke on You. And yeah, this is a pretty bad leak as expected out of Joke. That's 94% from him. Demon Miner at least should be able to hold, so no Waldo there. But Adams, this is a phenomenal hold against the 160 Mythium Send from the Demon Miner, leaking only the Send, so he cleaned up the entire wave.
Yep, just going back over here to Jokes, the Mimic, it only got 6 gold while it was in the lane. However, it has all of these slime babies to just chomp up, so it's already tripled,
Getting
now
so
quadrupled
much
the amount
gold
of
in the mid, yeah, wow.
So
that's an
basically,
insane value Mimic. This is going to be, what, 36 gold? Yeah.
Yep, 36 gold here. So it didn't get anything out of Jokes lane. However, Slicky set everything else up, said, here, I got you, fam, you look hungry.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's kind of death by 1,000 cuts in terms of King HP. You only mine once. They're down at 57% now, so just a little over half of their HP remaining. Atrocity, he's receiving a full send now from Joke on You, but so is Demon Miner. However, he does drop this Lord of Death, so he was looking kind of vulnerable here, Wave 8. Lord of Death changes that. He's now pretty strong on the wave, and this might be what it takes to bring Demon Miner back into the game.
Yep, if he gets away with a couple of waves here, he'll be feeling pretty good about life. Definitely.
Oh no. Tree of Life here for Atrocity, so his Spectral Scallywag, it literally can't die, Seto.
Yep. Yep, and it's champion. So it's got bonus attack speed. It's got bonus. What? It's got bonus damage reduction.
Wait a second.
Uh, no, it's fine.
I mean, it literally can't, right?
Exactly. No, it's thresholding.
My lord. I
Totally
actually
fine.
thought it was
No,
going to leak
actually,
pretty decently, but no, it literally can't die, guys. It's
yeah.
broken.
Yeah, definitely kind of unfortunate too, because I believe that Joke knew that the Spectral Scallywag could have been Tree of Life to this wave. I don't believe that was a secret.
Yeah, yeah, he showed the tree, he showed the scallywag, and he even has the sea dragon as well, but that thing died pretty quickly. Alright, we've got a couple more full sends coming out. We've got another Mimic. It worked so well on 7, he decided to send it again. But Joke on You with the Pyro is pretty good here on Wave 9. So we'll have to see, because his tanks is still severely lacking, especially on pierce damage waves.
Yes. This is a single pyro. It'll be okay. But the waves are still positioned a little bit funny. We don't have good split, like, directional damage for the pyro. It's not perfect. It's good, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and it's dead as well, so it's... Like, I don't
That's
know, he's
also
done
kind of a
okay, but
problem.
he's on 1245 value here on Wave 9 and still leaking. This game is a disaster for Joke on You. Now, that's heavily influenced by his role. Don't get me wrong, like, there has been some bad luck in terms of how janky his YOLO role is. But yeah, this is nowhere near the strong YOLO performance we saw in his first game against King Dans and Isolde.
Yep. Once again, that Mimic doing a hell of a stack. It got 28 gold that time. Again, mostly thanks to Slicken's board
Yeah.
or Demon Miner's board. What can you do?
Okay, I mean, these players, they seem to be completely addicted to power mercenaries in this game, number one. We've got another pack leader here coming out, wave 10 from Atrocity. Demon Miner, I think, has no chance of holding. We've got another power send again coming out from Demon Miner into Adams. However, once again, Adams with the answer. So we've seen Adams hold the power sends a couple of times already this game, and I think he's very likely to do so again here on 10. We'll have to keep eyes on Demon Miner's lane because he's looking way more vulnerable in my opinion.
Yeah, fully agree. Like, thankfully, we're going to be able to clear up that Snail and that Brood off to the side there. And if we can get the Disciple to pop off just a couple more times, we'll be okay. But that pack leader really just adding damage to that Granddaddy.
Yeah. He doesn't even kill the boss. Okay, this is...
Oh,
That's a rough one there. But Adam's leaks as well. Okay, so I guess he just simply didn't have enough tank value to keep that doppelganger alive. Now that's crucial, I'm going to say, for Team Yomo, because if Demon Miner leaks there and Adam's full holds, this almost becomes like nightmare scenario, in terms of the economy. But yeah, Adam's managing to leak and Demon Miner doing okay on 10 kind of makes this game a little bit more even.
yeah, no, we're no longer greater than 60% win percentage, and we do have the king advantage as far as upgrades go for Demon Miner and Joke. So things could be worse. This is not a doomed game for sure.
Yeah. Alright, we've got counter-attack picked up by both Joke and Demon Miner. They're going for a cheeky Wave 10 resend. Will they catch them unprepared? I don't know, man. I mean, they're kind of undervalued, but they've also done the Income King play here from the side of Mind Your Business.
I I think I like this play a lot. The Four Eyes, if it gets to the king, will do a lot of damage. It won't get to the king, darn.
Yeah, that's a good 4-eye snipe there for Atrocity, and a very solid performance from Adams as well. I mean, he leaks, but it's 40%, and another 40% there from Atrocity, so mind your business. I mean, they will take some king damage here, but I don't think this is a negative trade for them. They went for Income King, so they're kind of minimizing the damage taken, and this was a full power mercenary send once again from Team Yomo, so it does even up the king HP, but economically I think it's yet more advantage going the way of mind your business.
Yeah, definitely agree there. You can look at the workers, and while Demon Miner is sitting on just shy of 30, his value, unfortunately, is starting to kind of slip away. You'll see once everyone's spent all their gold that the mercenary or the oh shit wait another resend.
Yeah. They'll never expect the resend, right? Well, Atrocity has fully built, so
Exactly.
he is expecting it, in fact. And Adams, I mean, he's a little more undervalued, but he's also very strong on the wave, so we'll have to keep eyes on this. Everything is based on how well this doppelganger does, how long it manages to stay alive. It is now taking damage. It's going down fairly quickly. That will be another leak from Adams, but honestly only very, very minor. And meanwhile, Atrocity, he's easily able to hold and will be able to full cover in the mid as well. Now, mind your business, they have an enormous presser advantage. So the resend, it was spicy, it could have worked, but ultimately very underwhelming, I think. And now, mind your business, they are significantly in the lead here in game one.
Okay, so this is really rude. Every time we resent, hoping for shutdowns, the shutdown counter never initiated, but now that we're not resending, now that we're not sending yet again, the shutdowns come on fire. Oh, this is just
Jules?
rude. Jules?
Alright, I mean, Team Yomo, they are in trouble now, I think. They're both decently undervalued already, and the send is not coming here, so I think Atrocity and Adams can pretty much pick their poison, and looking at these builds, I highly expect Wave 14 send to be forthcoming.
Yeah, so that was the danger in resending is every time you resend and you got a little baby leak, you just made 14 look more appealing, and that was always the scary way for Demon Miner and Joke.
Yeah. Adams is even going to pro leak here on 13 to extend the wave. I mean, sure, he feeds a shutdown, but it makes the wave so long here on 13. They get a ton of extra Mythium to send against Demon Miner and Joke on You, and I just don't really see any world where Team Yomo survive this.
No, unfortunately, Joke being YOLO this time instead of Stash, there's no like easy button to click here. Um, like we do have Steeds, that's good.
Yeah,
But
right. I mean, he's lacking damage. He's lacking tank value. A lot of it comes down to a pretty unfortunate YOLO roll. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of doomed for Joke on You here. They will have a decent amount of king upgrades, but I just think the leaks are going to be too big right now.
yep, we are real sending as an answer here from Demon Miner, and I think that's totally fine. I
Yeah,
don't think that
hoping
there's
for a shutdown there on Adams. I think it's a very fine play, but shutdown doesn't help if you just die here on 14, and that's looking kind of a realistic prospect right now. Joke on You leaking 146%. Adams does leak quite a lot and feed the shutdown, but that's 111% from Demon Miner as well, and well, maybe the Income King play from Joke on You will be enough to at least allow them to survive another wave, but economically speaking, they're in such a rough spot right now. And actually, they survived.
just dead. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit minor issue. Is not being able to live and see the next wave.
Yeah. However, absolutely no stranger to minor issues is Demon Miner, so we'll have to see whether these teams can come back swinging in game number 2. Now remember, the first series of the day was very back and forth. In fact, so was the other one that we didn't fully catch on stream. We've only had best of threes played out fully so far in this group, so we'll have to see, will this series be any different, or will Atrocity and Adams be able to take the first clean sweep of the day? They're in a 1-0 advantage. They have used... that was a Megamind actually from Atrocity. So their Megamind is gone, their redraw is gone, but they still have everything else to play for. And you only mine once, of course, they have all of the options still available to them. Now, Seto, the next lobby is already open, so we can hop into that and get game number 2 underway ASAP. Now, do you think there's anything kind of different needing to come out from Demon Miner and Joke on You here in game number 2? Or do you think more of the same, but with a better role perhaps from Joke on You would be enough to convert into a win?
I mean, surely Jules wouldn't give a bad YOLO roll multiple times in a row here, right? Like we're
I
trying
mean,
to promote
surely.
the game, not whatever that last thing was, right?
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 Jules? Jules? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, that was certainly a very rough role from Joke. I think he played it well despite the difficulties. Um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately they kind of got steamrolled, and a big part of that was Joke's role. But I don't want to hang on too much about that. Like, if you pick YOLO, you are taking a risk that you will get a role like that from time to time. That's just how it works. But for now, guys, the players are ready. The next lobby is about to begin. So let's see, will Team Yomo be able to bring the series back into a tie, or Mind Your Business just going to prove too much for them? Let's find out. It's game number 2.
Oh,
Completely undaunted, Demon Miner and Joke on You decide to run it back with Miner, with YOLO, and I have to say, Joke's role is significantly better this time around. He actually has tank value, and he has dedicated DPS as well. Sure, he's lacking a few typings, but just the fact that he actually has viable tanks is a big improvement over his previous game.
fully agree. This one is playable. He has definite weaknesses, but I'll give it a solid 6.9 out of 10.
Oh, nice, nice. Meanwhile, we have Saboteur and Cartel there picked up from Atrocity and Adams. So, two very high income masterminds. I guess they're hoping for a super aggressive, or either that or a super scaly early game. Atrocity has a phenomenal role, actually, with the Flying Force, with the Phoenix, with the Halo, and then just some good cheap tanks to pair with that stuff. So, I can certainly see him scaling out of control if given half a chance.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I love so much. I love the new masterminds because they all have like very obvious drawbacks. Saboteur is such a good name. It is just a funny thing, to be like, oh well, I can only send mercenaries. I can't help save us ever, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big drawback for sure with this Avatar not being able to upgrade the king. Demon Miner once again on his 5 worker start, receiving a snail, so +4 gold for him there, and he should be in a pretty decent spot. But it's 5 workers all around, so no significant advantages from the start.
Yep. I every time Demon Miner kind of gets away with that 5 worker open, and it just keeps happening. I just fear, as no cave-ins, we're happy and we're able to, keep moving on. Hopefully things keep moving in a good direction here for him. Yeah.
Dark Seto going hard on the mining puns over there. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Alright, more snails walking into both Demon Miner and Adam's lane. Neither player looking like they're going to be caught off guard, so 2 easy holds, 2+4 golds. However, the player who did not receive a snail here, that's Joke on You. Is he just going to leak, or is the Crab Warlock stronger than I give it credit for?
So that little crab is oh wow, there's two
He
now.
gets
Yeah,
another
forget
summon,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a beast. Like I'm always shocked at that annoying little like it just kind of looks like an STD and it just works so well because it's so goddamn annoying.
Yeah. Crab Warlock in name, Crab Warlock in nature. Alright, we've got a couple more snails coming out, but I expect Team Mind Your Business to be absolutely fine over here. Very low value, though. Atrocity on 190. Adam's even lower, but he has the flower. A second snail is added from Joke on You. I actually think that should be enough to create a decently sized leak here for Atrocity. Let's keep eyes on this lane.
Yeah, those snails are such a pesky nuisance for the cat. It just gets stuck on them for
Yeah.
like a shockingly long amount of time.
I mean, it only really works because he's playing super aggressive there with 190 value, but joke on you, he read his opponent well, and he calls the leak, and that's going to be a decent bit of a gold swing there. So you only mine once? Okay, I mean, they need to win this game, and it's certainly off in a good start for that direction.
Yeah, definitely not suffering from any kind of black lung here. And I love the flower aqua. It's one of my favorite openings. It's so strong, but it wasn't going to be enough here to hold because he did receive a snail here, Adamas, and I think his positioning is it ideal? No, I think his aqua is one square actually too low for like the ideal positioning, so
Yeah.
he kind of took too much damage by accident.
Meanwhile, though, Seto, we have a couple of very, very dangerous sends indeed coming out here on Wave 4. It's been a long time since I've seen Imps on 4, but here we have it from from Atrocity, sorry, into Demon Miner, and there's a Hermit and another Robo. No, he doesn't quite afford the Robo, only a Snail, but Hermit's still very, very strong here on Wave 4, mitigating a lot of that False Maiden damage, but joke on you, is it ever going to be enough? He does get the second summon from both Crab Warlocks. I think he's just going to do really, really well here. Demon Miner, meanwhile, the Imp's still alive. The Casket is stuck on the Imp, so he's never going to kill one of those. The spell does get another chicken, but it's still a leak. Joke on you, however, that's a big hold from him, and he even has a decent amount of tank value left alive in the mid, so he's going to be able to clean up his teammates' leaks as well. A fantastic hold here from Joke on you.
Yeah, no, sending 4 into Mask is always wrong. Just don't do it. His Crab Warlocks, okay, cool. His crabs weren't that great. However, the Warlocks were, so you know the Swift value really coming in clutch there. Really, really good play.
Yeah.
From Joke.
Now we do have a full send coming out from Joke into Atrocity. Atrocity is fairly high value, but he's not great on this wave, so we'll have to see. This Brute could prove quite deadly.
It could indeed. Adamas kind of looking a little bit sus this wave, actually. Like the Flower and Aqua, they're decent damage and they're good tanking types, but could have been some... No, never mind. He didn't have any Mythium Demon Miner.
Yeah. He kills one more creep there for Atrocity. Oh no, he doesn't even get that one. So 67% leak there for him. I mean, that's certainly a successful send from Joke on you. However, the pressure situation is looking quite interesting now, with north of 100 Mythium for both members of Mind Your Business. Demon Miner, he has a decent chunk as well. When are these players going to decide to send? Wave 6 is the answer. Okay, so we've got the Brute coming out from Demon Miner. Adams, I mean, he has 200 gold there. I think he might do quite well. The real story is going to be over here on Demon Miner and Joke, however, because both members receiving a full send, but with this Oathbreaker final form, I think Demon Miner is just going to pull off a miracle hold. Joke on you, meanwhile. I mean, he's looking weaker, but he has 680 value, so it doesn't matter what units he has in that case. He's just absolutely overwhelming the wave with sheer fighter value. Demon Miner. Oh no, the Oathbreaker's taking way too much aggro. We needed a better split here. That Oathbreaker does go down, and that's all of his damage really, so probably going to be a bit of a leak there, but still, the Oathbreaker was able to clean up nearly the entire wave, and joke on you, with the high value build, that's a full hold from him.
Yeah, so this is just another time that Atrocity and Adamas are sending into Demon Miner and Joke, and it's just not working out. Like, the leaks that they're getting are very small in stature, kind of minor, if you would.
Yeah, minor leaks. They were hoping to strike gold, but ultimately, not even coal, really. Now, Demon Miner, I mean, he is still kind of behind in terms of workers, just 11 there, but joke on you with those fantastic holds on 4 and again on 6. He's now in the lead position, he has the most workers in the game, the highest income, he's got good value as well. Joke is just in a very, very strong position right now.
Yep, no one's going to deny that. He's held everything. His Crab Warlocks have been overperforming, or performing exactly as you expect them to. But yeah, the game is basically been given to him, and so he can play it as well as or as badly as he needs to at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, they've pretty much unlocked the minecart to victory, it seems. We have more income sends coming out from a couple of players here. All 4 players, in fact. So everyone just trying to cement their economic position right now. The thing is, if you're going for just like even economic trades like this, income king sends, it generally favours the team who's already ahead. And right now, that's Team Yomo by some margin, actually. So if teams just continue trading evenly like this, Joke on You and Demon Miner, they're just going to pull further ahead, I fear.
Yep, absolutely. I think as long as, we stay on track here, nothing goes off the rails, we're very satisfied with the outcome of this game if we are Demon Miner and Joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everyone obviously expecting to hold here against income sends, and we'll have to see if Demon Miner's finally able to take advantage of his mastermind and start pushing those workies, because he's pretty much the lowest in the game right now.
Yeah, and this is not the first time that we've been seeing this. Going into next wave, he could shore up. So, and that's the thing, right? Like his 10 already looks kind of bad. What does he have to kill 10 with, right?
I mean, Alpha Male, I guess. Some Tempests for damage.
Yep, Tempest would be okay, but, you do kind of see a weakness there, and you just kind of got to shore it up, I think. And
Yeah.
then we can push like a demon.
Yeah, some supports would certainly be helpful for him right now. It looks like going to be a double brute send here from Joke on You into Atrocity. Atrocity's quite high value though, but he only really has pierce damage here on the wave. I suppose there's a halo as well. We'll have to see how well he does here. He is already softening up that brute, so that should get sniped. Yeah, there we go. The brute is going down right now. And the front line of Atrocity, that's going down as well. So this will be a leak here. Quite a nice resend there from Joke on You. And a Dams as well. I did not expect a Dams to leak here to the DT brute, but he does, and mind your business, they're going to lose a pretty decent chunk of King HP as a result.
I'm actually shocked by that as well. When Adamas placed down the catapult last wave, I expected, oh, okay, he's got catapult. He's got a great unit with the flower to tank and the catapult to damage, right?
I guess he just has no tank value, right?
Well, and honestly, I wasn't entirely looking. I just kind of chalked it up to that's going to be fine and then stopped thinking about it. And I guess he just overpushed, got caught a little bit unawares, and now the rest is history.
Yeah, well, Atrocity, it seems, is trying to send his canary down the mine, because here's the big yellow guy right now on wave 10, and Demon Miner, how are you going to hold? You were saying he was weak on 10, he does go for the Tempest Leviathan Circle as an answer, a couple of wargs there for tank value. Is it going to be enough, though, because this is a 260 Mythium send here? The problem is, Joke on You, he's the one who's on a 50 gold shutdown on 10, that's crazy. And he's only receiving income, so Joke's going to be able to hold easily, I think. Demon Miner, sure, he's going to leak quite a lot here, but once again, Joke will be holding his lane, has a decent amount of value there in the mid to cover as well, and Team Mind Your Business, they're just falling further and further behind with every wave.
Yeah, you can really see that their efforts just are not panning out, and that is kind of becoming insurmountable at this point here. 14% win percentage chance from Jules here, manually calculated, nothing you can do about it.
Joke on You, I mean, he's just putting on an absolute show here in game number 2, not content to go out of the series so easily to Atrocity and Dams. He is putting on an absolute masterclass right here.
Yep, we are finally pushing not finally pushing, Joke's been pushing well this whole game here, but Demon Miner just about to hit that 20 mark, and he's got the next couple of waves secured finally too, so looking pretty good for him to push after whatever the next send might be, as long as it's not 14 probably.
Alright, I mean, Joke on You, he's just in such a strong position. His income is miles ahead of anybody else in the game. He has more than 50 extra income every single wave. That's a whole worker worth of gold every wave, more than all the other players in the game. So he's in a very, very good position right now. And it seems the teams are looking to try and close out the game sooner rather than later. I could see 13 being an option. I could see 14 being an option. Well, no, okay. I was going to say 15, but that's too crazy because the teams are both going to be way too low value to save for that long.
Yep. We do see Joke taking tax allowance again, so I guess he's just kind of a fan of that particular spell. And pinging his own Hellgate, showing that he is just fine this wave and next.
Yep. Yeah, the Hellgate makes it much more likely that Adams will want to send on the 14th wave, which I think works out absolutely fine for Team Yomo as well. Oh no, they do go for a 13 send. Okay, that's interesting. And Atrocity, he's income sending here. Adams does go for the full send worth of imps into Joke on You. I mean, he's got the Hellgate, but the imps are very good into that, and he's kind of lacking in tank value otherwise. So, yeah, I can see Joke on You leaking here, but I really don't like the income send here from Atrocity because Slickins is actually way weaker than his teammate here on wave 13. And I don't know, like, I know they're in a tough spot, but they also need to make leaks happen if they have any hope of winning the game.
Yeah, I guess they're just kind of hoping to shut down, farm some shutdowns here.
Yeah.
Totally doable, but as you've already pointed out, I mean, Demon Miner's damage is okay on this wave in the Hades, but he's got no tank value. Almost everything on his board is a fort.
Oh, Adams is doing super, super well. The Wandering Trebuchet, absolute beast of a unit here on 13. He will leak, but only the 4 eyes. Atrocity did phenomenally well as well. Just 2 wave creeps leaked there. I mean, Slickins, he kind of has 1 creep alive to the income send, right? While Joke is doing much, much better against the full send. So yeah, I mean, mind your business. They kind of tried their best here, but it's just yet more economic advantage in favor of Team Yomo.
Yeah, I think while the game before seemed, obviously we were, just barely in the tens for win percentage for Atrocity and Adamas, it's I think now, fate is sealed.
Yeah, I mean, this game is now very, very one-sided indeed. We have Joke on You so far ahead of everybody else on that power score. He's on 125 gold shutdown right now, just to give you an idea of how far ahead he is. There's a decently sized bounty on his head, but I mean, when is he ever going to leak from this point onwards?
And that's it. He's when his crabs are not good, he's got a great summon build. When his crabs are not good, his gates are, and when his gates are not good, vice versa.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll fix the wrap and the split and all of that, and everything's going to be fine. So, I mean, ultimately, the tunnel is kind of caving in. I don't know where the light is. It's kind of collapsing, and I think we need to start thinking about the next game.
Yeah, well, actually, Atrocity and Adams are playing to their outs here because they both shifted a decent chunk of gold there on wave 14, trying to bait the wave 15 send, which they have baited successfully. The problem is they're also pretty low value on both of them, so we're about to find out, Seto, was that a master bait here, or is this going to seal their fate instead on 15? Because yeah, I don't know they're going to survive this.
Yeah, Demon Miner and Joker on You are both 40 plus workers, and I mean that's very nearly insurmountable. I don't know if there's even a world. I can't see a world. There's just so many imps that are going to get overkilled, and the Trebuchet is going to be stuck on forever.
And the Phoenix is doing very, very well here in Atrocity's lane, but it will go down now, and with it go his hopes. It looks like the mine has finally collapsed here on Atrocity and Adams, and that, Seto, means we have a tied series 1-1 here in the upper bracket match. So very, very well played, and I have to say, hats off to Joke on You, putting on a real show here in Game 2.
Absolutely. I love so much that we are getting these 1-1s. We want all the new players that are joining us here to get all of the cards and rewards. And so often we hit that 90% on day 2 or 93, or, oh, please leave the stream on for 10 more minutes. I'm right there. We are definitely not just closing out the day very quickly here. There's no denying cards if you are watching today.
No, absolutely. And it just goes to show how close these teams are at this top level of Legion TD2. Like the Nova Cup, I think the performance has got better and better every single year, every single month, and the quality of play, the just how well matched all of our teams are right now at this very top level of play is really impressive, and you can see it with all of the 3 game series being played out fully. The grand finals, which is a best of 5 by the way, very often played out to 5 games as well. So yeah, the games can go either way every time, and even when we do talk about underdogs, which we did describe Demon Miner and Joke on You as being underdogs at the start of the day, but they are doing everything in their power to prove us wrong right now. They've already beaten King Dans on Isolde. They're currently 1-1 against Adams and Atrocity. Let's see, are they able to take the series here and secure their place in tomorrow's semi-finals? All right, the lobby is open. I'm going to hop in there. And I just need to update the scoreboard real quick. Team Yomo, of course, winning with YOLO and Miner, which I don't have on my options, so I'm going to have to use... Saboteur kind of looks the most similar. Alright, the players are ready, so game number 3 should be with us relatively soon, guys. I don't know, man. This is just way too close to call. I'm not even going to make a prediction here. I'm just going to wait for the players to show us what's what. Yeah.
Do we recall what Demon Miner and Joke were after they won with YOLO last time?
Oh, good question. I can't remember actually. It happened more than 5 minutes ago, so obviously I have
Yes.
no way of knowing. But guys, okay, the players are ready. The lobby is about to begin. This is what it all comes down to. Game number 3. Let's go.
For the Kingsguard.
All right, Chaos there for Adams. So one of his favourite masterminds for many years there. Adams, one of the biggest Chaos abusers there is, and certainly plays it very well. Okay, Stash, that is what Joke on You picked in game 2 and 3 previous game, right? Demon Miner taking the redraw. Okay, so I think that's a new one for him. We'll have to see how well Joke and Demon are able to pilot these masterminds, because Adams on that Chaos is an absolute menace.
Yeah, how does he roll perfectly every single time? I don't get it.
It's a skill issue.
Oh, got you.
Alright, so some interesting roles here. Is there any player's role you favour the most here, Seto? I'm really liking Atrocities right now.
I am so yes. Atrocity has. If he could keep every single one of those units, he has the most perfect roll ever. And most of those units, like you can almost randomly pick a lot of whatever, just go up and down the line, click and unclick until you have 6, and it'd still be probably a perfect roll there for Atrocity. I think Demon Miner here always goes for just as high value as he can opening, and I really would have liked to have seen the Nightmare with this redraw, because then you can go for the Giga Doppel.
Yeah.
But Flower is perfectly fine and acceptable too. I just don't know what he does for 2 yet.
I mean, he has Flower Seed, so he's got a very high worker potential there with those 2 units. But they are also, while they're super high tempo for like the first 3 or 4 waves, they're also very vulnerable to like Hermit Sends on 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we see Demon Miner dropping the 2 seedlings here, wave 2, and this almost guarantees he just goes 7 workers, even against no send, onto wave 3.
Yep. After that, it's on joke to hold wave 4 and possibly part of 5, but hopefully Demon Miner will pick it up after that. Again, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I can be wrong though, is because who the hell am I?
Yeah,
uh, I love the red monuments. They are one of my favorite additions to the game, giving me something to like kind of shoot for with and the nightmares. They look really good. They look very, very good for atrocity there. Why am I talking about that? Because not a lot else going on. All right. So also we do have the 7 workers for Demon Miner. We have 7 workers for atrocities. Poda not fearing anything here. I'm not super keen on the changes to Poda this patch. Also, the flat healing feels less rewarding to get a really good Poda as far as like tanking goes, because your thresholds are, as I said already, just kind of not rewarding.
yeah.
Joke, you're going to hold wave 3 without any kind of issue. Cat and Gun are a very strong pairing.
Yeah.
And Adamus looking good. So we should see, like, Adamus, I do anticipate maybe pushing one more, going into wave 4 here with Berserker. Yep, going 7 workers. So again, we have a 7 worker wave 4 from everyone.
Yeah, pretty high octane stuff. Now, this is where it starts to become danger territory for the Demon Miner, because if Adams is able to reach a Hermit or something like that, Demon Miner is pretty much guaranteed to full house the wave whenever that happens. And Adams is already on 50 Mythium, so he's only 30 away. The question is whether wave 4 will be long enough for him to reach that magical 80 Mythium.
Yep, needs that 80 Mythium. However, we do have the Chloropixies here for wave 5 for Demon Miner. Those are really good damage, so you'll kill a good amount of units. And we also have natural, uh,
Ooh, joke on
armor.
you causing a long wave right before his teammates' weak wave 5. Adams, there's that 80 Mythium. Is he going to pull the trigger on that Hermit or not? We're about to find out.
Do get a Brute. Oh, double DT. We
Oh,
check him out.
okay. Adam's just going for the greed option there with an income send. So Demon Miner about to be very heavily bailed out here, I think. He could have been in some serious trouble against a Hermit, I think.
Yep, fully agree, especially now that he's got more AoE on this wave with the Tempest.
Receiving a full
But
send, however, is joke on you. He does add the flower. I mean, we'll have to see. Will this gun survive? That's what it's all going to come down to. Adams gets a full send here as well. Yeah, the gun's easily going to survive. That should be a very solid performance there from joke on you. Meanwhile, Adams, the Berserker, I mean, it's going down fairly quickly with the Robo's DPS on top of the wave. That will be a leak from him, but not a bad performance by any stretch. Joke on you does leak as well, 42%, Adams 56, and Atrocity just barely holding against the income send.
yep, not quite going to refresh that heal, but did very well that wave there. Atrocity, even though it was a 60 income, uh, was looking just a little bit sus for the POTA for just a moment there.
Yeah, and guys, look at this. Team Yomo, they have taken first blood here in game number 3, and it's not a huge amount of damage, but they are the first off the starting blocks. Here is another full Power Mercenary resend from Adams into Joke on You on wave 6. Oh, sorry, into Demon Miner on wave 6. He's not looking great here, but honestly, the 2 Pixies deal pretty decent single target damage, so I expect him to do okay.
Yeah, Joke on You here kind of over-prepared with his rat gun and kind of just spamming down a whole bunch of those Mousies. Be a problem later on, but right now, totally fine, especially when, Gun is not the best unit here and his mate is looking a little bit sus getting the real send.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to kill one more. This is fine. That's a full hold found. 49% there from Demon Miner. And like you said, joke on you, just about barely holding the no send there. We do have some pretty scary Mythium numbers across the board, all but Adams, who of course sent on this wave. And it looks like Joke on you and Demon Miner, they're going for the full Brute send here on 7, while Atrocity, he's got his eyes on that Mimic, but he won't quite be able to afford it, so he goes for Brute Robos instead.
Yep, the only income send I'm seeing here is Fiend, as you may have pointed out here. Joke on You's stash is looking kind of juicy. Like we're wave 7, we're on value all the way up until now, but we've pushed really hard. We have Hardened Mudman looking really good.
Yeah, okay. I mean, joke on you probably going to be leaking here, but both members of Mind Your Business receiving pretty significant sends here on 7, and we'll have to see. I mean, it looks like Atrocity's in disaster territory right now. His front line getting absolutely overwhelmed, his Priestess not split tanking nearly enough. Sure, joke on you leaks 82%, but Atrocity, there's the 88. Oh, Adams is doing phenomenally well here with that Trinity Archer, but it's not going to be a full hold, so they're going to take even more king damage here on wave 7. Meanwhile, Demon Miner, he does have a little bit of value in the mid, so minimizing the damage on their side.
Yep, Joke on You was afraid of the Mimic on 7 there, so that's why he pulled out the Hardened Mudman and all those routes that he placed down on 6. So it was a good call. Got a little bit lucky or unlucky, who knows what the situation could have been, how much it may or may not have eaten the Mimic, but now we're just seeing income sends back to business as usual.
Yeah, Demon Miner, he's starting to pull ahead.
Yep, is sitting on 12 workers. However, his value 755. Like he's a little bit behind. Once he spends everything, he's back on top. But 128 income, Atrocity dwarfing that just a little bit with his 137. Demon Miner and Atrocity probably going to be the two like key players this game, based on early value.
Yeah, just another round of income here from all 4 players, it looks like. So everyone just trying to improve their own economy, not playing aggressively, for now at least. I'm sure they'll go back to that. Uh-oh. We say not aggressively, but joke on you, manages to leak 42% while on value against income. So,
Yeah, those looters have that 10 HP really did a number on them. But hey, look, we killed the Chloropixie, I guess, as what Demon Miner there is pointing out, saying, hey, thanks, mate, you did me a favor.
Yeah. +5 Mythium. Okay, more income coming out from 3 of the players. Demon Miner is stockpiling his bricks for now. Yeah, I guess he was thinking that Atrocity's looking quite weak on 10, but Atrocity now revealing the Holy Avenger, one of the best units on wave 10. Maybe that's going to change his mind. He might just go for an income send instead.
Yeah, I mean, the doggos are good anyway, but Avenger, while it can leak 10, as we found out today, is no slouch for certain if you have other units to back it up.
Yeah, Demon Miner was feeling a bit pressured here. He did spend gold there to boost his Infiltrator, but only receiving Income King. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. And similarly for Joke on You. Demon Miner, I mean, talk about taking an advantage here. He's on 17 workers now. And he does, yeah. So seeing that Avenger, he no longer wants to try and break Atrocity here. Wave 10 just goes for an income send. I think that's absolutely fine line of play.
Yep. So, he delayed his income by a wave to put on a little bit of pressure. I don't think anyone's ever going to take anything away from that. Perfectly solid play there from Demon Miner.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I mean, I could see... Nah, I was going to say wave 12, but actually Adams is a beast there.
Yeah, placing the Shadow Dancer this wave, getting just kind of ready for this wave or next. I mean, Shadow Dancer's not a great unit here. However, 11 and 12 it is.
And yeah, that's an easy hold there for Atrocity, and he's now looking pretty solid for the next couple of waves as well. Joke does leak against the 3 snails though. I think it's fair to say that Joe Konyu's having a slightly rougher game than he did in the previous. Does once again kill at least one of his teammates' pixies though, so that's a plus.
Yeah, he's kind of just in this really awkward gold phase where he's got a lot of gold in rats and no gold in guns. He's got 2 little tiny guns because he was never able to shift and get the right amount of gold that he needed when he needed it.
So yet more income coming out here on 11 from Joke and Demon Miner. We have Venture picked up by both players as well. Similarly so for Atrocity. Adams, what are you going to pick here, my friend? Is he feeling pressured enough that he has to go for a buff spell? He does. It's Protector. But honestly, Protector is really good on that Shadow Dancer into Dread Knight.
Yeah, I mean, he could have, upgraded the Shadow Knight next, still taken Venture here, if he was feeling, so bold, as his units were pretty good this wave anyway. But honestly, as you already said, it's a Protector is very nice on Shadow Dancer, so we're definitely not too upset about it. As long as 13 goes well anyway.
Yeah, nobody sending here on 12, I think, is a very understandable decision. I wouldn't really expect a send to come out before, say, 14, but, I mean, Demon Miner's looking very low value here, so Adams might try and make something happen on 13.
Yeah, it's, Demon Miner might be a little bit sus. Or are you talking about Joke with the 335?
No, I was talking about Demon Miner, but he's since added a ton of value. I guess I just wasn't looking at his gold properly.
All right, cool. Nope, I'm back on the same page with you, and that's a great place to be. All right, so we will have the Ventures coming in. Guns are good on 14 as far as damage goes. He doesn't really necessarily have that many good tanks for 14 yet, Joke, but Demon Miner also looking pretty okay. The upgraded Skybots with a Levi is kind of broken. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
But I could see a 15 send at ever players possibly.
It's just so risky to try and skip 14 though from anyone really.
Absolutely. Nope.
Atrocity's on super high value. Maybe he can afford it. And actually, Joke on You has the stash as well, right? So if he is feeling threatened, he can just break that piggy bank. Oh yeah, I really like Demon Miner's late game build. The Leviathan Skybot combo is just nutty. Although he's already rolled away from it with his redraw.
Yep. He can probably. I mean, I guess he was looking for possibly a little bit of Swift here, possibly a little bit Arcane for next, but his his board is starting to be set up for the late game. Absolutely. I mean, 2 Skybots is a lot of Skybots.
Yeah. And okay, so we do see all 4 players saving their Mythium here on 14, meaning, I guess your call there for 15, Seto. You might have been right for once.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy,
what is that
right?
feeling?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And Joke still has that stash available. He does. Okay.
Adamas here rolling into Poda. Poda that he can't get rid of. He's now stuck with it for the rest of the game. But it will be his 15 damage, so, I mean, I understand it.
Yeah. And it's a good play from him.
Yep.
And That's certainly what a good Chaos player would do, is roll a Azeria for 15 if that's when you're expecting the send. And he was expecting it correctly because we see Demon Miner already queuing up that Needler and Brute spam. And here comes the answer from Team Mind Your Business. We've got Shaman 4 Eyes from Atrocity. We've got Kraken with an Aura send as well from Adams. Demon Miner, Joke on You, they both send Needlers with a bit of support as well. We'll have to see if anybody is able to hold here. I mean, Atrocity's very, very close to value, so if anybody's going to hold, it's probably him. He's got good units for the wave as well. I don't know, Seto. Well, Joke on You's build is looking pretty strong as well, especially if he hardens here. Oh, he's broken the
Yeah,
stash, right? Surely, yeah.
exactly. He's on value with good units. I'm
Yeah.
curious about the snail here. Is the snail intentional on this build here into Demon Miner? Like,
Eh,
y- yeah,
I mean, he has no split, so I guess. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the Phoenix here from Joke on You, the first one does go down, but the second one is still alive and kicking, dealing damage into that boss. In fact, the boss is already dead. Joke on You holding extremely well here. I think he may leak, unless, no, only a Shaman alive. I think the gun is more than a match for that. But Adams, he's only leaking the Needler, likewise for Atrocity, and that on low HP as well. Demon Miner leaks the biggest here, but his teammate's able to soak up some of that damage in the mid. Meanwhile, 2 Needlers onto the King for Mind Your Business. This could have been way more dangerous than it ends up being.
Yep, fully agree here. Adamas here doing really, really well, not getting that extra 200 gold from Venture, just deciding to go with the buff, seeming to pay off because now that, he doesn't have the gold, but he does have all the value that Protector offers. Didn't go anywhere. Um, Definitely looking good on 17. Uh, both players looking pretty decent on 18 for on the left side. So it's kind of their game to decide when they want to. Well, not really, because they are behind, but they do have a good amount of decision-making tools to be able to make some kind of play here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we look at these power scores right now, Demon Miner absolutely dominating here in game number 3. We saw the Joke on You show earlier. Now this one looks like it's Demon Miner's turn to shine. He really has uncovered a diamond there, I think.
Yup, absolutely. He didn't have to go digging too far in order to into his rerolls. He's only rerolled 5 times and just found basically the nuts with each time. So, very, very pleased with what he sees, probably.
Yeah, that's certainly the way to play it. You can never rule out a Dams on a late game chaos roll though. So even though he's significantly behind, all he has to do is roll the perfect unit at the perfect time, and it may just be enough.
So, in this case, what would you consider to be the perfect unit? What saves him on, say, uh, let's say next, because we are already down over 500 value. 18 looks pretty juicy right now. Do we need lots more
Uh,
berserkers?
Either Berserker or Phoenix would be your best bet. Probably Phoenix would be the most ideal if it is going to be an 18 send. And it would also need perfect positioning. So even if he does roll it, which by the way he doesn't, I think that might be a bug. Jules, if you want to look into that one, Adams did not roll the perfect unit with Chaos.
Yeah, I think with his board, the way that it's positioned right now, Phoenix would be extraordinarily difficult to kind of position unless you
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to abandon the POTA split tanking in any kind of meaningful way, which is fine and acceptable, but we don't have to worry about that because that didn't happen.
Here it
We do
comes,
upgrade
Seto. Absolutely
this.
enormous sends coming out from Team Yomo here on Wave 18, and everything is going to come down to this right now. Will Mind Your Business be able to survive this mammoth send coming out from Joke on You and Demon Miner, or will the game end here, securing Team Yomo's place in tomorrow's semi-finals?
I'm not gonna lie, the way that it looks right now, we might be celebrating for Demon Miner and Joke on You. That's awesome and great. Uh, However, I am shocked at how well they've played these last 2 games. Uh, not as in because they're bad players, but because I was just expecting such a different outcome.
Yeah, yeah, they've played phenomenally well. I think that's fair to say. They've exceeded all expectations, and if they do win here, it's extremely well deserved.
However, Adam is
However,
doing really well.
Atrocity, despite being minus 1,000 value, this looks like a hold to me. And Adams, he's minus 1,300, and that's a baby leak, fam. Atrocity,
Absolutely.
I mean, he is going to leak, though, but it's literally the send. Like, he's cleared the entire wave. Is it ever enough to survive? I think it might be.
Yeah, they have almost full king. They have 84% of its HP left. It's I mean, so they get to survive till the next big send,
I mean,
which
that
is
was a
neat.
phenomenally good performance, though. Like, if you're
Absolutely.
digging for a miracle here in the mines, this is certainly the place that you begin. This was a very, very strong performance from both Atrocity and Adams. However, they did still leak. They did still take a ton of king damage, and that is yet more gold in the pockets of Jokon Yu and Demon Miner. So, despite the fact that they're still in the game, they have one heck of a mountain to climb if they want to win this one.
Absolutely, yeah. Their prospects are not as good as they were just a few waves ago. But that doesn't mean that we can't keep our hopes up or digging and all that. Puns.
Mining puns.
It started out pretty well with the prospects, and then I just lost it. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean, you just got prospect in there right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Atrocity and Adams, very, very low value here. Surely Jokon Yu, yeah, and Demon Mining, they go for this end here. So they're not going to be taken unawares on 20. They will send here. And I think there's pretty much zero chance for Atrocity and Adams to survive now.
Yeah, I did. No. Did
In fact,
Adamus
do they
go
even survive
for.
the no send? I'm not
Yeah.
convinced they survive the no send.
We
Huh.
may have just died by natural causes.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of an anticlimactic way to end the series, the death by natural causes. But
Oh God.
yeah. Okay, well, game number 3 does go in favour of Team Yomo with a very, very strong performance here, absolutely dominating their opponents. Once again, Jokon Yu and Demon Miner 100% deserving of their spot in tomorrow's semi-finals. So, super, super well played to those guys. Big congratulations from me. But Seto, that's not all we have for today, because there will still be the last chance match where Atrocity and Adams will have one more shot to stay in the tournament. Do we know who their opponents will be? Let me see. King Dans, he was in the lower bracket match. Isolde and King Dans played against Witcher and Eidetic, and it looks like they won their series 2-1 as well. So every single series so far today, Seto, has been a full best of 3 played out, which is just super, super hype. And that means, guys, for our last chance match today, this is going to be an absolute banger of a match as well, because it's going to be Atrocity and Adams going head to head with King Dans and Isolde. So don't go anywhere, guys, because we are going to be right back in around 10 minutes time for that last match of the day. And that is going to be one heck of a show. Seto, how are you feeling about the game so far?
They've turned me into a new man. I've seen the light. I have left the darkness behind me.
Well,
So
you've
very
certainly taken
excited.
off the hood, at least, yeah.
It was kind of difficult to put back on. That was mostly it. Yeah, but no, like I'm setting up the dynamite. I'm preparing to pull the plunger, and I'm just ready to get excavating into the last match of today.
All right. Well, with all of those mining puns behind us, guys, we are going to have a short break now, so don't go anywhere. And for those of you who are new to Legion TD2, I am very, very pleased to introduce our very own community meme musician, Nick Tia, who has prepared a bunch of songs all based on Legion TD and the community. The first of which I'm going to play right now is called Four Eyes on Five. So enjoy the song while we have a break, and we will see you very soon. Goodbye. Dangerous.
They're dead.
All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the music there. One of many meme songs made by Nick Tier. Always a banger, always goes down well. And Seto, we have a really exciting last chance match ahead of us right now. It's going to be Team Mind Your Business versus the Ashton fans. That is, of course, Adams and Atrocity up against King Dans and Isolde. And who would have thunk? King Dans and Adams, both in a last chance match. You know, these are normally the players who make it through to the semi-finals right away with no problems. So, absolutely crazy going on in the Nova Cup this time around. These two teams, it's just way too close to call. I don't know, man. This is a really, really high-level matchup.
So I feel like we made a good call last time by not making a call, and we could go that route again, or we could go the Dark Seto route and make something ridiculous happen. So I'm going to say King Dan's out on the first day of Nova Cup
Oh,
for the
wow.
first time in I don't know how long.
That's a very bold prediction indeed. But you know what, Seto? I think you might be onto something. I think there's a chance that Adams and Atrocity are going to have the edge here going into this match. I mean, if I just look at their current elo, right? Now, of course, that's because King Dans hasn't been playing, his ratings decayed, all the rest of it. But Adams and Atrocity have just been consistently really, really high on the ladder throughout the entire year. Well, throughout the entire past several years, to be honest. But talking is hard, man. Specifically this year, the pair of them have just been really, really high, almost 100% of the time. And I think they're a very, very strong pairing. I'm kind of surprised that they are here in the last chance match at all, but here we are. And I think Atrocity and Adams are going to have what it takes to secure their spot in tomorrow's semis. Now, I will not be surprised at all if King Downs and Isolde prove me wrong here, because of course they are both phenomenally strong players in their own right. It's just a hunch. And again, I don't think it's going to be a 2-0. I think, as with every other game so far today, this one's going to be a 3-game series as well. But there's only one way to find out, so let's see if the lobby is available, Seto.
There is a lobby, and there's a couple level fours joining in, so
Nice.
we'll have to wait till that gets sorted out a little bit.
All
Very proud
right.
of them.
Okay, yeah, we have a full lobby, guys. Ready when the players are, and we should be able to get this show on the road. Seto, you haven't shaved your beard, have you, in between the games?
While that was going to be part of the bit, it is my flavor saver is still being saved. I cannot wait to get rid of this thing. I've been growing it for about a month and a half. I need it to go. It needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've cropped my shiny, shiny head today. You've got to look your best, right? I've really got that sheen going for the Nova Cup. Got to look your best for all of the new Epic players, by the way. Once again, a very, very warm welcome to all of our new players joining from the Epic Games Store. And a shout out, if anybody in the stream doesn't yet own a copy of Legion TD2, the game is currently free right now on the Epic Games Store. You pick it up within the next week and you get to keep it forever. So if you don't have the game already, go and grab a copy right now. But sellout over. Let's see if we can get in the lobby. It looks like Adams just wants a minute before we can hop into the game. So maybe we can get back into the sellout. So, okay, I've told you what's up in terms of the offer, but I wanted to follow that up with a very warm welcome to all of the players who have joined us through the free week on Epic, and I really, really hope that you're all enjoying the game. It's something that I've put way too many hours of my life into, but it's a super, super fun game. The community is great, and we have these monthly Nova Cups, which I very much encourage you to get involved in. Obviously, we're watching the very best players right now, but Nova Cup is available to everybody. There's multiple divisions that cater to all different skill levels. So even if you're new to the game, I would highly encourage you to get involved. You know, next month or the month after. it's super super fun. But for now, guys, the padding is over. The last chance match is about to begin. Remember, you have to win here if you want to stay in the tournament. The loser goes home with nothing. So, with that said, game number 1, let's go. All right.
Ooh. So this is going to be our first look at Scrapper. Uh, I am a fan of Scrapper in the mid game if there's a wave that I'm particularly weak on. Uh, Say I've got Casket on 6 and I've upgraded it once. Uh, that's like 230 gold. That is basically dead to me. I know Ascend is coming on 6. I sell it and I make something that is going to help me hold. I'm a big fan of the Mastermind. It is very niche. It is like very particular, but it is not a bad Mastermind.
Yeah, absolutely. And he actually megaminded into it. So Atrocity, once again, going with the slightly riskier option there of the megamind in game number 1. But yeah, Scrapper's a very strong mastermind, I think, and he also has a really nice role. So I think Atrocity's in a pretty good spot just from his starting position right now. Meanwhile, we have Solday on Stash and Kingdans once again on that lock-in random.
Yep, disappointingly, Isolde not rolling, I think, a single rat today. And that's just so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, normally he has that in every single game, right?
Nobody would have it more than he would, basically.
Alright. Dam's on the redraw, so I think he actually favours redraw over Chaos now. He was obviously a Chaos abuser for the longest time over the history of Nova Cup, but he seems to prefer redraw in general these days.
Yeah, having control over when you need that secret unit feels very good. However, when you just can't roll that secret unit, and so you re-roll 44 times looking for it, that's when it starts to feel bad.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, so we have 2 of the players still on 4 workers, so a couple of slow openers right there. Atrocity actually playing it crazy safe. 230 value, that's really unusual. Like, I don't quite understand what he's doing there because he did get the usual king up on 1, right?
He did, and interestingly, Adamas here stayed on 3 workers for this cat. He had the 30 gold to go up 1 more. Decided that he wasn't going to get sent here, so just barely eking out a hold here, and going to have an extra worker to do something else with in just a moment.
Alright, so it's just a round of income here coming out from the players. Adams on 6 workers, Kingdans and a Solday as well. Atrocity lagging slightly behind. Yeah, okay. I mean, things are still very, very close so far on wave 3. We don't see any power mercenaries coming out, so nobody going for leaks here. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Indeed, we will. Not looking so super great here, King Dan's. He is using the Seraphim as both damage and tanking, so when it goes down,
Ooh,
which it
it
just
tanked
did,
too much, right? I think
yeah.
he needed that to tank significantly less because the Seraphim is by far his best damage unit on the wave. And actually, Isolde's leaking to the Lizard as well. I spoke too soon when I said that there was no aggression this game because I guess if your build is bad enough, you can leak to a Lizard on wave 3, man. And this is actually not too shabby in terms of king damage here. Mind your business. Off to a pretty good start, it seems, in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, considering they expected nothing and got a lot, they're probably pretty happy with that. King Dan's a little bit of a misplay there. Just, the difference a square can make, honestly.
All right. Well, we do have 7 workers across the board, so not being deterred by the leaks there on wave 3. The Ashton fans are they're not playing it safe, let's say. But that's good.
Oh, no. Yeah. They don't want to be boring. They've decided they can either be bad or boring, and they've decided one way over the other, and that's great.
Also worth mentioning that so far, Joke on You is the only player who's enough of a turbo Chad to pick YOLO here in Nova Cup, and he was rightfully rewarded for doing so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 2 out of 3, wins with it. Really, really impressive because I've seen some of the horror stories and I've been a part of some of the horror stories of YOLO recently, and I'm just not a fan. And meanwhile, I normally love it when things decide that they don't care about the rules and do whatever they want. YOLO has absolutely screwed me more than the rules.
Yeah, I know the feels, man.
All right,
Okay.
so we are now saving a little bit of Mythium here from Isolde and Adamus. Is there some weakness that they've identified in their opponents?
I mean, wave 7 kind of speaks to me right now. So if Isolde was able to reach a Mimic, I think Adams would just crumble. Atrocity, similarly, honestly, like he has options with the Slime Mummy and stuff like that. But again, he's never holding against a Mimic. But King Dance just doesn't have that much Mythium. And actually, Isolde just decides to go for an income send as well. So, okay. The one player going for a power mercenary send is in fact Atrocity here on wave 6. So the Brute into Isolde. But I guess the fact that he did go for an income send here means he's going to be in a really strong position to be able to hold.
Yep, definitely looking better with the Cannoneer than, say, Imps or something where he would have lost a little bit of income. There is some benefit here. Only has 2 gold left, meaning spent that gold pretty efficiently. But Adamas, as you had said, would have crumbled absolutely on 7 should they have been sent something real next wave.
Oh, look at that Chain Fist staying alive forever there in Isolde's lane. Absolutely beautiful aggro for him. Looks like he's gonna. Hey, it's just a full hold. The Nightmare's got this 1v1.
Yep. Nope. Ideally positioned, everything working out exactly as it needed to in order to beat the wave.
Yeah. And Isolde is going for a full send here on 7 after all, but just with way, way less Mythium. So Adams, I think he's going to be. I mean, he may yet leak against the Brute Lizard, but he's going to be fine, man, honestly. Meanwhile, there's a double Brute going the way of King Downs, but King has this Cage of Pain, he's on value. I think he's going to be just peachy.
Yeah, he just spent 230 gold on that unit this wave that Adamas had no knowledge of. So, kind of very unfortunate. Very fortunate timing for King Dan's here to be able to slap that down the wave he's getting sent and perfectly hold. And
Yeah.
his banker's just fine as well.
Yeah, that looks like a really, really good performance there for King Dance. Meanwhile, how's Adams doing? Actually, way worse than I expected. 72% leak there on Adams. Holy. Alright,
Yeah,
Atrocity is able to cover at least some of his teammates' leaks, if not all of them, but it looks like a little love tap on the King here going the way of the Ashton fans. So finally off the scoreboard in terms of King HP, and yeah, this game is pretty even still after 7 waves.
Yep. So, despite the fact that we knew Adamas's weak wave was 6, we said, if he gets sent kind of big here, it's going to be bad. Ended up getting sent, income on 6, but also got a slight real send on 7 was still devastating.
Alright, just another round of income send here on wave 8. Atrocity, though, he's pushed pretty aggressively. Never mind, it was just a slow update on the tab menu. He's actually on the same value as everyone else. Okay, alright, so everyone's just kind of chilling, securing their own economy with these income sends. Who does that favour? Well, Isolde, he has the most workers in the game, so he's in a pretty strong position right now.
Yep. Oh. I'm sorry, I may have checked out for just a moment there, but did you mention that Isolde rolled into the butcher for his nightmare?
What an absolute machine he is. Yeah, that's a really solid reroll actually for Isolde. Like the Butcher Nightmare Circle, obviously a fantastic powerhouse through the mid game, and then his late game options are there as well with the Banana Haven, with the Lord of Death. Yeah, Isolde he has a really, really nice roll, and he also has that stash potential as well, right? So if he's ever feeling under threat, he can just pop that piggy bank and get a big gold injection to hold Ascend.
Yep, and he's also got the buckler with the butcher. It's not really good, but it is really funny. Like it's good on this wave. It's very good on this wave, but it's pretty much never going to be good ever again. But it's still funny.
All right, another round of income. This is a very eco-favoured game right now. Although, having said that, King Downs, he's shift-clicked the yellow guy. Doesn't quite reach it, goes for a Mimic instead. Let's see, Atrocity. How are you going to try and answer this Mimic send? It looks like King Downs are probably able to add 80 Mythium on the back of that as well.
Yeah, gonna get at least 80 Mythium here. I mean, Disciple is very good, but I don't think it's very good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if it's very good enough either. The Mimic's not great though, like he doesn't really have any arcane swift units other than this one and this one, which will be the very last things to tank. Um, but, I
I think he
mean,
just wants money.
yeah, he's going to leak regardless. Mimic, can he actually get any last hits? He's got one.
Oh,
Two! 8
there
gold
we
on the
go.
Mimic. Absolute beast. Meanwhile, against 8 snails, it looks like Adams is leaking as well. So the Ashton fans, they're off to a very, very strong start. Okay, Adams holds. Never mind. But, I mean, the point stands. The Ashton fans, they're in a pretty solid position right now.
Yeah. I mean, atoms are really strong, but that was basically a leak. I mean, you don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
any of the benefit if it were a leak, but it's basically a leak.
It was certainly leak adjacent. Meanwhile, we have King Downs and Isolde both on fire, 25 gold shutdown, so starting to increase their advantage every single wave. Meanwhile, another round of income comes out from Team Mind Your Business. King Downs is at least starting to pile on the pressure now. Did save his Mythium here. He also has a pretty sizable worker lead. I mean, look at this. Adams, he's on 13 workers here on wave 11. This is really rough for him, and it shows he's right down at the bottom of the power score chart.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I think that Atrocity might be able to bail them out as he's now sitting on 2 and change Violets.
Yeah. Okay, obviously for those of you new to Legion, if you do manage to get that 4th Violet built, then you have the power of the meme on your side.
It's
Meanwhile,
basically Exodia.
yeah. Meanwhile, we have the double venture on the side of Adams and Atrocity, so trying some greedy play to make something happen, but twice aggressive spells press the attack on the side of King Dans and Isolde, hoping to close out the game here on 12. Will their sends be enough?
Yeah, so the greed is bold, and I'm all for it. I would have made this call all day because I love money. It's just character appropriate, but this is going to punish them very, very badly.
Yeah, I mean, Adams, he's on value and he has a Dread Knight, so Adams might actually do very, very well here. Atrocity, however, I'm a bit more worried about him. I mean, his imps are gonna his 4th Violet does appear, so of course he now has the power of meme on his side, and he is gonna one-shot all of the imps.
Yes. There is no Imp Slayer for Adamas, and his only unit this wave really is that Death Knight. Let's see how it's doing. It's not targeted yet. It has gotten off a couple of little spawns. They have all died. He is now being targeted.
Yeah.
And Atrocity's not doing that great himself either, so...
Yeah,
Little bit of
89% there for
yikers.
Atrocity, but Adams, I mean, his Dread Knight's still alive. He has killed all of the brutes, which means that Dread Knight is able to summon clones at maximum efficiency. It does finally go down, but not before summoning more than enough clones, killing more than enough of the wave. This is going to be a hold here from Adams. I mean, sure, he doesn't have a huge amount of cover potential left in the mid, but crucially, he was able to hold his own wave, and that means that mind your business, they're still in this game, Seto.
Absolutely.
Remember,
Um,
they both took Venture here as well, so now they get this big gold injection here, and all of a sudden, look, things are still looking rough. Jules says it's 23% chance for them to win the game, but that is twice as good as it was just one wave ago.
Yeah, honestly, that's just how math works, and I am a big fan of numbers and how they go up. I'm looking at the Mythium go up right now, and King Dan's and Isolde are sitting on just about 30 workers. So they didn't get 300 gold from Venture or 200 benefit, but they did get a whole lot of gold from King and sending stuff, and their income pretty much is the story, I think.
And remember, Isolde still has that stash available, right? I'm fairly certain he hasn't broken it. No, he hasn't. So, yeah, okay, they actually go for a 14 send. Now this might be bad. Because remember, Adam's and Atrocity, they both just got this huge gold injection from Venture.
Yep. Uh, there was a shift too from Atrocity, so
Hmm.
he's got like a little bit of an ace up his sleeve, but he still also has 4 violets on his board,
Yeah,
5 violets on his
now
board.
he has five. Yeah, I mean, so violets. I mean, they're fantastic units, especially with the mana regen given from the Starcaller. But they're really bad on wave 14. Like, really bad on wave 14. So I think this is kind of disaster territory here for Atrocity.
Yeah, he kind of like took the ball and threw it away. He's like, "Yeah, I did this really cool shift. Now hopefully they'll send us on 14 because
Yeah,
that's why you would shift, right?"
I mean,
And
he's
then
really high value, but it's just bad value, and all of his slime mothers, they've died before getting full mana, so yeah, that's a lot of wasted tank potential as well. This is going to be a bad leak for Atrocity, despite being on value.
yep, kind of bummed. I don't think that was a very good play.
Yeah, meanwhile,
I would
Adams,
even
he's leaking
argue it's
heavily
bad.
as well. So that's
Yep.
130% leak for Adams, 75% for Atrocity, and I think that's about all that they. Yeah, they're dead, man.
So we're going to game two, and King Dan's looks angry this game as well.
Yeah,
Actually, Genom played, or Isoldo played really, really well themselves. And I haven't said their name, I feel like, enough. I feel like, I say King Dan's because, wow, look, a celebrity, and then you have Genom next to him.
hmm,
But he played really, really, really well this game. Adamas was like kind of, while he was able to hold a lot, he was always in defensive like stature. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a pretty cool game to watch. King Dans and Isolde. It was really even actually throughout the entire early game phase, and then just all of a sudden, King Dans and Isolde just took off and started pulling ahead further and further each wave. I thought with the venture that Atrocity and Adams might be able to make a comeback play, but just with how weak they were on 14, yeah, no comeback to be made, unfortunately. Perhaps if they'd sent themselves on that wave, it would have been different. Or perhaps even if Atrocity had used his scrapper there and turned his violets into something better for the wave, that could have, But it's kind of a bit pointless saying what could have been because ultimately King Dans and Isolde they do take the game, and they are now 1-0 in the lead here in this in this last chance match. So remember, guys, the winner of this match will make it through to tomorrow's semi-finals. The loser, they are out of the tournament. No more chances for them. So King Dans and Isolde, they're looking pretty good right now. Remember, I'm just going to update the scoreboard. That was lock-in for King Dans, stash for Isolde, and yeah, we'll have to see. Well, can Adams and Atrocity bring this one back as we go into game number 2?
yeah. Oh, did
Oh,
you just get booted?
Ah, okay, yeah, the bit of a lobby server. I think that's kind of the downside of having all the new players is there's a little bit of server lag. So one of those nice problems to have, I suppose.
And that's it. Like, of all the problems, it's like a first world problem. We're
Yeah,
absolutely thrilled to be having new players on the boards and all of that. And again, throwing this out there, community is great. If you want to learn, this is the place to do it. And message the Discord new player questions. You've got a lot of really great people in there who love answering questions, or maybe they don't love it, but they do it anyway out of spite. Not sure.
yeah, 100%. All right, guys, game number 2 is here. We do have a 1-0 lead for the Ashton fans. Will we have the first 2-0 sweep of the day, or can Mind Your Business bring this series back to a tie? Let's find out with game number 2.
Ooh. All right, Adamus back on the redraw and Atrocity getting the Megamind Kingsguard. I think they're probably happier about this. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. King Dan's and Isolde on a very slow open with the miner and the castle. However, if they get rolling, they are going to just steamroll their opponents late.
Yeah, that's a really interesting mastermind pairing, actually. So Kingdans and Isolde, I think, pretty much untouchable if this game goes late.
Mm-hmm.
But Adams and Atrocity, it's now their job to make sure that doesn't happen. So obviously they don't know what mastermind their opponents have picked, but if they do happen to go for a more aggressive early game, remember last game was really quite income heavy, particularly for the first few waves. So if they go for some more early game aggression, this could really punish the kind of greedy mastermind choices here from Isolde and Kingdance.
Yep. Uh, Fully agree. We do see that gate card open. So pretty much, I think every time we've seen Miner today, we've seen a 5 worker open. Which is just that initial, like, that's the first initial hurdle that you want to get over as a, a
Yeah,
miner enjoyer.
I mean, I think if you're playing minor, then you absolutely have to go for a 5 worker opener because otherwise you're effectively griefing. Like the minus 15 gold penalty, you have to offset it with a 5 worker start. Okay, so but it is still 5 workers for all of the players, and only one of them had minus 15 gold.
Yep. So everyone basically breaking even here. I sold in King's Dan's will, they'll have to get over the 0 income start. So they're sitting on a measly 6 income on wave 2 here, but they are going to be like, this is expected. They're going to play around that.
Yeah. Now, Adams and Atrocity, they're both on quite low income masterminds as well, relatively speaking, but more than 0, you know?
More than 0 is good, typically, because then it's 1 or more than that, even.
Hmm.
The fuck?
Another round of income. Okay. I mean, Adam's an atrocity. Look, if you want to just go pound for pound here with the income mercenaries, feel free, go ahead. But I really fear for your late game prospects if you allow the castle and minor player to just scale through the early game.
Absolutely, and like us having the godly view that we have and seeing the roles that everyone is sitting on and the values ahead of time, you can see that Isolde's looking a little bit sus on 5 if they don't do something to clear stuff up. Like they have good damage in the Seraphim, but like their tank value as it stands at this moment isn't wonderful. Barely going to hold here even, but
Hmm.
they are playing on a knife's edge and they're doing it perfectly so far.
Yeah. Talking about barely holding, King Dan's is actually going for a bit of a leak here against the income send, which would be fine, except your opponents both have a worker advantage right now. So the longer waves are only benefiting them.
Yeah, that's true, and that would be kind of against the game plan from Isolde and King Dan's. Like typically you want fast waves with Castle.
Hmm.
I'm going to assume something probably kind of similar for Minor, maybe not. Uh, I'm going to workshop that one later. I'm not entirely sure, but Atrocity really not taking advantage of his Kingsguard yet with these income sends.
Yeah, yeah. Normally you would want to upgrade the king a bit more if you're playing that Kingsguard. Obviously it's worth even more on Kingsguard than on the other masterminds. But yeah, let's see. Another
You know,
round. Go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, I will just to harp one more time. Like if you're going to income send and into your opponents, and you are Kingsguard, fine, throw out that extra king up. Like go nuts a little bit. Your opponent's already pushing like crazy anyway.
Yeah, right. Speaking of pushing, Dams and Atrocity are managing to maintain that worker lead every wave, right? They're just staying marginally ahead. But these margins will start to add up, especially since they started on more than zero income as well. So they're going to keep pulling further and further. With that said, though, Isolde and Kingdams, they are starting to save a bit of Mythium, while Adams went for income here. So maybe starting to plan a bit of a real send, and I could certainly see Wave 7 being an option because from what they have on the board right now, Adams and Atrocity both really, really weak on 7.
Yeah, doggos are not typically very good against all those blobs.
Mm-hmm.
The more opponents that the doggos have to nip at, the harder it is for them to, succeed. Also, atoms and all that single target damage. You have the flower. Yep, 7 could be very dangerous,
Oh
but once
no.
again, the bailout.
No, I mean, this is the thing. So going for the income send here just really takes the foot off the pedal from Isolde and Kingdoms. Like they were threatening a pretty big send on 7, and Atrocity and Adams getting turbo bailed out here by the income send on 6.
Yep. I don't even. I don't know. It's fine. It is fine because we again have the knowledge that they don't have. But the risks that we're taking aren't very risky, I think, and I'm sure they're measured, but it's a little bit unfortunate here.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Seto, because while you go for this income send here, Atrocity continues to save his Mythium, and he's now representing a very real threat against Kingdowns whenever he does decide to send. Oh, and he
Now,
even gets the Mimic. Okay, I didn't think he was going to get to 160, but here it comes. We do have a hardened Moodman here from Kingdan, so that's trying to be his answer here. And actually, the Gatling gun as well is very, very strong in terms of DPS, so he might do quite well here. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, there's some small power mercenary sends coming out from both Isolde and Kingdowns. Adams, I think, he's going to be pretty fine. Atrocity, though, he's quite low value, but I mean, it's a 60 send. There's just no way, right? Let's keep eyes on this Mimic then for Kingdowns.
oh yeah, no, I'm watching it. The gun is doing good work. It chewed up the side that it was stuck on.
Oh, the
Oh, and it's
Mimic's
getting
getting
targeted.
focused. Okay, it also has very little gold on that Mimic. He does kill it. Okay, that's huge.
That's ridiculously big. That's so good for them.
Meanwhile, Atrocity, he even leaks to the 60 send, and Adams, he's leaking barely to the Brute Snail as well. So, I mean, mind your business. I think this is not going in their favour, especially because, again, Isolde and Kingdans, they almost have inevitability if this game goes late.
Yeah, that is kind of the theme of this game. That's the story of this game. How do we get out of the early game for Isolde and Kingdans? And we're doing it. We're not always doing it the best, but we are certainly doing it. I definitely want to point out really quickly that we had a wonderful, great unit on 7 for Adamas. We had the Slime Mommy, and she fully popped off. But guess what? Didn't matter because we've nerfed it 17,000 times. 17,069 times to be exact. It did not hold.
I feel like you have some sort of agenda, Seto, when it comes to the slime.
What? No. I am a perfectly unbiased caster.
Yeah, imagine bias on my casting panel.
Could you?
Never.
How dare you, sir? I'm just trying to enjoy a succulent Chinese meal.
Meanwhile, King Dan's managed to get his Gatling gun killed here on wave 8 against a snail send, and as a result, he leaks 75% while on value. That is really bad. A very uncharacteristic error there from King Dan's.
Yeah, it is, and it's not the first time we've seen the gun get focused by snails on 8. I don't remember who it was earlier, but it is. We are definitely leaving our guns out there, and people are just snatching them up. That's very dangerous. I'm from America, and this is a safety message.
Alright, we have our Kingsguard player with the most workers in the game. Miner tied on the lowest, but surely the late game power spike is coming.
And I like I think that's really it. We're just about there. We're about to find out, like, did we do it? Did we get to the late game or the mid to late game in a good enough position that our masterminds are now going to be valuable and the early suffering was worth it? Because right now, we're at 61% in favor of the team who didn't say, "Hey, let's go late." So, you know, we're very close to finding out.
Yeah, and here we have a cheeky resend, double brute into Solday's lane, but he stayed resolutely on value with the Harbinger here, one of the best units on Wave 9, and he's going to be just fine, I think. King Dan's, he got the classic Cannoneer brute send, also on value, also doing just fine. He might leak small for King Dan's. Oh, actually, Isolde did
Aww.
manage to leak here. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like he was focused on 7 different things, and it was very unfortunate. If his targeting was better, much better hold here. He would have full held, but
Yeah.
you can see all those low creeps. That is Jules's fault.
Yeah, and actually that's pretty bad for them because just as we were saying how well they were managing to pilot through the early game with their greedy masterminds, they both leak kind of decently, they take a big chunk of king damage, and all of a sudden, mind your business, they have the dreaded 69% win probability. Jules is starting to eye them up right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed. I was going to bring it up in case you didn't, because this is a very important. Like, we are on the cusp. This is Wave 10. We have a castle player playing with a miner, and this is very dangerous time to be in the 69 position with Jules because we're about to pop off, I think.
And here's the thing, right? With the castle as well, Isolde will just be ahead by wave 14 because I mean that's just simple math, right, Seto?
Yeah, that is how math works.
Yeah.
Yep. You want long 14.
All right. Another round of income sends coming out from Isolde and Kingdans, and their power spike is about to begin, I think. They are still slightly behind in terms of overall workers, but with that castle power spike, Isolde now well ahead in terms of income.
Yeah, he's 291 income right now. That is almost 100 over every other player. That is almost 33% more, 50% more gold than everyone else has, which is just an insane number.
Yeah. They're also going for the creditor here as well, so just further securing their economic position are the Ashton fans. However, a damn's an atrocity. They do save their Mythium here, so not willing to relinquish pressure, they're going to keep up applying threat against Isolde and Kingdans. And when do we think they want to send? I mean, 13 looks pretty good to me.
13 does look pretty good, and as long as Isolde and King Dan's are able to keep their wits about them and collect creditor for one more wave, that's still an extra 100 gold. Oh, hello. However, are we going to get a split
Okay.
send?
A
That would be
wave
fun.
12 send coming out here. Yeah, full send from Adams. income send from Atrocity. So let's have a quick look at Isolde's lane. How is he going to try and answer this wave 12? Well, Fatalizer isn't going to cut it, I'm afraid. He is building for 13, where he expects the send to come. However, the send is coming here on 12. He's building units which are really good on 13, but at the same time, really bad on 12. So, yeah, he's also fully shifting for that Creditor. I expect Isolde to get heavily punished right now.
Yeah, he is taking the most greedy route where it's build for the next wave and save for this wave. Like,
Yeah.
so I still applaud it. I'm a big fan, but it is not going to go his way this time around, and that's okay. Sometimes it works out that way.
Yeah, you
I
can't
think
always make the
he
right call every single
recognized.
time, right? But here's the thing, because King Dan's receiving income send means he's obviously very able to cover his own wave and even clean up some of the leaks in the mid. And just look at this, right? This was an income King send, and King Dan's is down to one unit with half its HP remaining. This could have been some very serious King damage if Atrocity had decided to full send as well.
Yep. King Dan's, though, kind of getting his first big minor push, which is probably very rewarding. He's waited kind of a long time for this. 13 waves here. Just to be able to really enjoy pressing the 45 worker gold button.
Hmm.
So, and he did get bailed out last, because 13 is not typically a good wave for the gun. Feeling probably pretty happy with his
Yeah,
current
yeah,
position.
yeah. Absolutely. King Dan's actually is even looking pretty vulnerable to a resend here on 13, but there is no resend coming, so he's going to be just fine.
Yep. Also, they are full shifting for that creditor, so that's they will look like they're further down than they actually are, but their opponents also realize the creditor's in the game, so
Hmm.
surely they're not going to like take some kind of weird bait here.
Yeah, and getting the full value out of that creditor for both Isolde and King Dan's is a decent chunk of change in terms of their economic position. But of course, they also got a pretty good amount of leak gold there on wave 12 for Adam's. Um, King Dan's, will he pro leak here? I think he will. He's going to leak the one creep. Or? Yeah, he does. Okay, so a nice long wave here. However, Adams, he also fully greeted the Creditor. He's going to have a ton of value to play with here on 14. He can afford a full Doomsday machine, one of the best possible units on wave 14.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Something that players are starting to get akin to is letting the tank on 14,
Hmm.
because that arcane and HP, it's got a lot. It's got 5,000 HP,
Yeah.
which is insane for a DPS unit. But people sometimes need to realize that it can take some damage on 13 and 14 without really being at risk of dying
Yeah.
prematurely.
I mean, Adams should just comfortably hold here. The Doomsday is insane on this wave, and he has 3.4k value. Atrocity, meanwhile, I mean, this is just beautiful positioning here from Atrocity. His smaller Millennium does go down now, but it's done its job for sure. And meanwhile, his Doomsday still alive and kicking. That's a full hold from him. King Dan's, he goes for an 84% leak. That's kind of wild. Atrocity barely leaking there, and of course Adams with the full hold thanks to his hidden Doomsday. So yeah, really, really fantastic performance there, and this puts Mind Your Business in a very strong position right now.
Yeah, kind of gross how both Adams and Atrocity had Doomsdays on 14. That's not fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. Atrocity is caught up to I sold as in income, and that's kind of wild. Like,
Yeah.
I sold it does have 43 workers, but having 457 income and 463 income is when I sold it was so far ahead just, a couple waves ago, getting that castle buff. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah. And I guess we were kind of too focused on Castle and Miner being great late game masterminds, you can never rule out redraw because it just always has that potential to dig for like the perfect unit on any late game wave, right? And that is such a strong ability.
Yeah, and its cost is affordable. It doesn't feel like you're breaking the bank to re-roll once or twice here or there. Um, despite the fact that you wouldn't want to lose money to creeps, you're perfectly willing to spend money to re-roll your roll,
Mm-hmm.
re-roll your roll. That feels horrible to say,
Well,
but
here
yeah,
we
but
have
it's
a wave.
necessary.
I'm going to bail you out there, Seto.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
we do have a big wave 16 send coming out. So Isolde and Kingdans hoping to undercut their opponents. Adams did use that redraw, found a death cap, found a sovereign as well to go with his mana aura. So he's in a really strong spot. Atrocity. I mean, he has 3 death caps already. So I mean, I know there's a couple of bears, but both of these guys are on value with really strong units for the wave.
Yeah, they are getting the bears pretty much across the board, which of course is the AoE answer, but at the same time, those units are really, really good this wave.
Yeah, I mean, even if they leak here, and it looks like Atrocity is just very easily holding, it would never be enough to win, right? And now they're just in absolute disaster territory for the side of the Ashton fans because not only did their opponents hold, but they also saved their Mythium. So Adams and Atrocity, they now have essentially free reign to do whatever the hell they want in terms of sending. They can pretty much pick and choose which ways they want to end the game on right now.
Yep, Adamas and Atrocity taking Jules' offer there to 69, about 90% of the way there. So feeling very good about the way that this game is going at the moment. ATM.
ATM, right? Okay, Ashton fans. I don't know, man. Like, I don't really see the line where they can come back into this game. They need an absolute miracle right now.
Yep. I I don't see an avenue. I just so it, like I'm trying to find the weak wave. What is the wave that we need to send, or what is the play? It doesn't matter. It's coming now. Looks like. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so trying to end the game here on wave 18 with this mega send coming out from Adams and Atrocity. We've got Krakens, we've got Needlers, we've got Centaurs. Oh my. And Isolde and Kingdans, they are so far undervalue. I mean, they do have good units. Like Isolde, he's got 5, 6 Fatalizers. Kingdans has fully boosted Orchids and hardened Mudmen. Like, you can't really ask for better units, but their value is just so low, and the sends they're receiving are so big. I don't know, man. Like, I'm praying for these guys, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. This is much like prayers in real life. Don't mean anything. Oh God. Forgive me. Yeah, no, like, so thankfully we're going to be moving on to the next game here, as Mind Your Business has definitely decided to get all up in their opponent's business and win this game pretty decidedly. Like, there were moments where it was close. We talked about getting to the late game. We got to the late game, and yet Isolde and King Dans have lost? Question mark? But that's all we had to do, is what I presented at the beginning of the day.
Well, Adams and Atrocity closing out game number 2 in style here. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, we once again have a tied series on our hands. Once again, we have the full best of 3 being played out here. That was Adams and Atrocity using up their redraw and King's Guard masterminds. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty exciting stuff, Seto. We did predict an Adams and Atrocity victory before we popped into this series, and, well, with a tied series at 1-1, it's certainly up for grabs. We'll have to see if Isolde and Kingdans can play a little bit better in Game 3 and prove us wrong. But we'll find out.
Yep. So we've gone 2-1 all day. That is all I ever ask for. That and occasionally being right. And just to make sure that we are very clear, I did say that King Dan's Mrs. Witterson, but King Dan's is not going to be proceeding to tomorrow's finals.
Mm, yeah, indeed. Okay, so the lobby is somewhere there.
Open.
We have a lobby. Okay, let's see if we can get in there before the level 4s.
They're
All
so
right.
sneaky.
They're very, very sneaky. So let's see. Everything to play for in this match now, guys. Remember, whoever wins this next game will be guaranteed their spot in tomorrow's semi-final. The loser, they are out of the competition. So a lot of pressure right now on this final game. It really is everything to play for here. We'll have to see which way it goes. All four of these players absolutely phenomenal in their own right. It really could go either way. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to stick to my original prediction, Atrocity and Adams. They played so strongly there in game two. I think if they can maintain that pace, that pressure, they should be able to steer game three to victory as well.
I fully agree. They won't have redraw, but at the same time, they won't have Megamind, and that's totally okay. I mean, Megamind is what people pick if they don't know how to play the game, like me. Just because making up your own mind takes a lot of courage, and I don't have that, so I
Yeah,
just play Megamind all the time.
that's entirely reasonable, yeah. And if you don't even like picking your own units, you just press the YOLO button like me, right?
You
Okay.
could do that if you hate yourself.
Man, I love playing YOLO. Seriously, it really interests me when you can try and make a suboptimal roll work. Like I find that way more interesting than just having like a really all-round roll where it almost pilots itself. I like to put a bit of thought into what I have to build each wave, you know. And even then with YOLO, you can get really bad rolls. In which case, I just play to enable. Like I starve my opponent and hope my teammate can carry. But guys, enough about my YOLO adventures because game 3 is here, about to start. Once again, everything to play for right now. So which of these teams will make it through to tomorrow's semi-finals? Let's find out as we go into game number 3.
Thomas here, going with the very clever free redraw as in Chaos. Atrocity taking Stash, kind of two just mild masterminds here. Stash being, I do feel like it's good, it's fun, it's exciting. It's probably when I am not just picking mastermind, I'm probably selecting Stash for that extra burst of bailout.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, we saw it used to great effect as well in a couple of the previous games. Isolde back on the castle, though. I mean, it didn't work out for them last game. Let's see if he can make things different this time around. King Dan's on the Saboteur this time. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. These guys are not exactly. I don't feel that this is very synchronous again. Like, Castle players want fast waves, that's fine. Saboteur players want to send things all the time.
I just hate playing Saboteur, man. Like, it's not for me.
I see King Dan stole. I sold his rats, or borrowed them.
And we have a snail on 1 into Atrocity. He has a safe opener, so he's completely fine.
The double whirly bird after the nerf here opening from King Dan's and Isolde might be a little bit sus.
I mean, the unit is still just broken. Like, it's been nerfed for the last 2 or 3 patches in a row, and it's still so strong as an opener.
So you can nerf certain units that are very strong multiple times in a row, and that's okay.
Okay, Seto, we know you have a we know you have a thing for slime, mummy. We even have a post-income snail here from Atrocity, but Isolde, I mean, he's not playing Fiesta, and he's not playing Risky. He's going to be completely fine, and say thank you very much for the +4 gold. Likewise for King Dan's, actually.
Yep. I think Atrocity feeling fine next. They've got great units for the next couple waves. Actually, they've got a flying archer possibility here. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's good, yeah. And while Atrocity is strong on 3, yeah, he didn't quite get enough gold, so he can't upgrade the Chain Fist. That's what I was worried about. It makes him considerably weaker here on 3 than he would otherwise be. I mean, the Gargoyle, obviously, fantastic unit for Wave 3, but if King Dans goes for a triple Snail Send, I do expect Atrocity to leak quite a few creeps here. And King Dans does not have the third snail, so Atrocity may be a bit bailed out. We'll have to see how well he does against just 2.
Yep, for sure. Definitely a lot of bailouts today. That's okay. We are still going to be close to leaking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, RNGesus is on Atrocity's side here today.
He's
He was able to
absolutely
clean it
fine.
up.
Yeah, never mind. Never mind. Yet more snails coming out here on wave 4. Atrocity did not decide to overgreed though. He in fact stayed on 6 workers, gets the green devil here for wave 4, and as a result he's going to be absolutely fine, I think.
Yep. Looking very good here. It is not a great wave for Whirlybirds, but he is on value, great value. It's going to be okay, even with uh, the treasure hunt.
So this time around, King Dans does go for the full send, but this time around, Atrocity is playing it very safe, and he's going to be absolutely fine. So, Adams and Atrocity, I think, in a pretty strong spot as we come through the first 4 waves of the match.
Yeah, I think Atrocity definitely playing the mind game aspect pretty well. He was looking a little bit vulnerable wave 3. Now, mind you, the mind game really came down to 1 gold, so it wasn't entirely intentional, but it was forced and still executed upon well.
Yeah. Now we actually see the first power send of the game coming out here, wave 5. We've got a Brute from Adams into King Dans, and King, I mean, he's not looking great here. Whirlybird, of course, is broken, but the Brute can slow it down significantly.
For sure. He did not hunt here intelligently.
Yeah.
And it's not like he was that great on this wave anyway. Like, he's fine. Like, the Whirlybirds are a good unit on wave 5. But leaking nonetheless.
Yeah, 58%. That's not too shabby. I think Adams is perfectly fine with that result from his Power Mercenary send. We'll have to see. There won't be any king damage though, because of course Isolde only receiving income and on very high value as well.
Yep, looks good. The Julesometer has been heavily favoring Isolde and King Dan's this game so far. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, the income looks basically the same. The values look pretty much
Yeah.
like they are slightly favored for King Dan's and Isolde. Like, they're more value, but otherwise everything else has been pretty equal. But
I mean, Jules just absolutely
disagrees.
favours Mythium saving, essentially. So
Yep.
he sat there behind his little calculator, tapping in the numbers. He really likes the Mythium, but I think that 63% is going to change pretty significantly after this income send, where Adams and Atrocity both full hold. Assuming they do full hold, of course, but that's looking quite likely, especially with this Halo here from Atrocity. Wait,
Yeah.
unless?
Yeah.
Unless? Easy hold for Adams at least. Atrocity. I mean, he kills out all but 1 in the send, so I think he's okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, Halo is on his board now, pre-Wave 7, so that feels less good.
Oh, a Power Mercenary resend, though, on Wave 7, so it looks like a
Holy
cheeky
moly.
double Brute from both King Dans and Isolde. Okay. We'll have to see if this one works. Adams, he is not really to be caught unawares. He's staying very, very high value. Atrocity, though, he's playing this one more aggressively, and he may come to regret that decision because Double Brute looks really good against what he has on the board.
Yeah, fully agree there. This is a lot of Mythium coming in. I think Atrocity is in a decent chunk of danger here.
Yeah, actually, even Adams, despite being on value, like, Nekomata's kind of the only good unit he has on this wave. The rest of his stuff, all pretty bad typing here. I think we might see Adams go for an on-value leak as well. And meanwhile, Atrocity, his front line has already crumbled. That's going to be a fairly decent-sized leak on him. Yeah, there we have it, 72% for Atrocity. Adams has done better, but he's still going for a 60% leak of his own. So Ashton fans, yeah, they're in a really good position right now.
Yeah, Adamas sniped both brutes, which is great, but didn't really get a lot else done. And I mean, I guess that's why the Joulesometer has been so tilted this wave. Hold on, 68.
Oh, will it happen? My god, they've dodged
No,
it.
it skipped it.
They're safe.
Oh man, not like this.
Yeah, but a really, really strong performance so far for the Ashton fans. This is an absolute dream of an early game for them, and need I remind you, Isolde is also playing Castle, so if this game does happen to go past Wave 10, he's fine with that as well.
Yeah, this is a much safer time to say Castle good post 10. You would think that wouldn't be a controversial opinion, but, you know.
Yeah. And yet more income sends coming out. Alright, but no one leaking here on wave 8. So pretty steady stuff, at least for now.
Yep, for sure. We are kind of entering into that, not quite a lull. I definitely wouldn't say that. I think we've been, you know, high APM, high octane gaming so far this whole time. With double brutes coming out again into Atrocity. This man, I don't think it's fair. King Dan's just keeps trying to send the love, and Atrocity just keeps just not doing very well with it, you know?
Yeah. Alright, so we have a triple brute resend here from King Dan's into Atrocity, but Atrocity does get this Oathbreaker final form out, which is an absolute dream unit here on wave 9. However, it might just end up tanking too much all at once.
Yeah, I believe that will be everything.
Yeah, it goes down really quickly, actually. So despite being like the perfect unit for the wave, that thing dies super fast. And as a result, Atrocity, he's going for yet another leak here on wave 9. It's only 59%. Meanwhile, though, Adam's finally able to hold. I mean, he received 3 snails, so I guess you'd be disappointed if he didn't. But he might not even fully cover this. No, he will. He's got Dream split tanking here in the mid.
Yep, he's looking good. He's also got a little bit of extra heals here. Yep, not a concern. Just an extra long wave. And that's not so bad. We've got 16 Workies.
Super long wave. While Adams and Atrocity were both saving their Mythium, here we get double Ghost Knights being sent on wave 10 into builds that look like they don't really have great answers for that.
Yeah, I mean, typically you really like Millennium 110, but typically you really don't like GK into Millennium 110. What else have we got? We got a couple Daphnes. Those are pretty good, but we don't really have a whole lot of other damages to kind of complement it. We do have the Gates, which will probably get stuck for a little while. Coiler, which is typically very good on 10, but that might be solo focusing the boss.
Yeah. 380 Mythium here on wave 10. This is a mega send. So it's kind of a Hail Mary for Mind Your Business. They are, after all, pretty comfortably behind until now, but they are leaking both of their opponents here on 10, and that's a shutdown on Isolde as well. So maybe signs of life here for Mind Your Business?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see the scales tip just a little bit, probably. Well, first they'll dip way down, but now they'll come back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. I mean, they're still behind, like the Ashton fans. They're just in such a strong position, economically speaking. They have a worker lead, albeit small. But more to the point, they just have a really nice income advantage.
Yep, for sure. I think now you see the 245 gold on Isolde in income. That's great. We see 21 workers on King Dan's. That's lovely. What is Adamus and Atrocity? Uh, what gets them the victory here? So they're behind in pretty much every aspect. They have less value on the board. They have less income. They have less workers. How do
Well,
we win?
given that they have fewer workers, I think their path to victory here is to try and bait ascend from King Dans and Isolde on a wave where they actually end up being quite strong, and then they can push the workers, and then they can go for a break of their own on, say, wave 15. Like King Dans and Isolde both look pretty weak on 15. Um, but yeah, to make that work, quite a few things have to go right. So they have to be able to bait ascend on, say, wave 13. And they have to be able to hold that send, because of course, if they leap, they may just die. And then they have to be able to break their opponents on 15. So there's a lot of things that have to go right for them to win this game. But it's possible, it is possible.
It is possible, and you did say a lot of and thens. However, I am a believer.
A believer.
For certainly. Like when it comes to minding your own business, they're never really going to be fully out.
Yeah, I mean, two phenomenal players, Atrocity and Adams, right? Like, even if us lesser mortals can't necessarily see a great path to victory for them, if one exists, you can bet your bottom dollar that Adams will find it.
Yeah. And yeah, you're absolutely right there. Like it's not necessarily coin flippy, but like there is usually a way that,
Yeah.
we find through. Oh,
All right.
cool.
Well. Here's step one on my manifesto for Mind Your Business Victory, which is bait the send on 13. Step two is all up to them. Step two is hold the send, and that is much easier said than done because these sends are pretty large, and there's a lot of dead value on your boards. Like, all of these chain fists are just not that great. These units are garbage on 13. I mean, this unit's fantastic. So the Fatalizer with Lifesteal, with Guardian Angel as well. Very, very good unit on 13, of course. We'll have to see. The sends are pretty large coming in here. I'm going to watch Atrocity's lane the closest because I think he's just going to get run over. And yeah, the Oathbreaker dies once. It's got the Guardian Angel, so it revives. It goes down twice. And now his Pierce units are just getting absolutely overwhelmed. This is a big leak for Atrocity. 110%. Adams' Fatalizer, that's gone down once. It's revived. It's going to go down twice, though, so that's once again a leak on Adams. He did better than his teammate, but 67% is still pretty sizable. I think they may yet survive this, but once again, Seto, a ton of leak gold going the way of the Ashton fans.
Yeah, leak gold, post 10, getting damage on the king is just so much money, and they were already in a good position.
Wait.
King Dan, never mind.
They don't survive this. Okay. Wow. I mean, I was just kind of preparing to go to the next wave and say, they're still in it, but their chances are slim. But no, their chances slimmens, their chances none. And here we have it, the Ashton fans with a very nice 2-1 victory here in that last chance match. That secures their place in tomorrow's semi-finals. But what a way to end the day, Seto. That was a really exciting match. And we kind of laid out that 3-step plan for Mind Your Business. And look, they made step 1, but they failed on step 2, man. They did not hold that send, not one bit.
No, they certainly played their hearts out. I am a little bit happy that they kind of just died there because things were looking really grim. And if we were like going to have to watch another life support game, I was going to feel a little bit bad. But because I'm wrong, I'm back to being Dark Seto.
Well, I'm very happy that you made the effort of relocating your hood for the final the final caster panel section of the day. But yeah, I mean, guys, that is day one over and done with. We've had some super exciting games today. Every single series going the distance, man. Every single best of three being played out to the fullest. That's really exciting. For tomorrow's semi-finals, we're gonna have. There's no second chances. It is a direct knockout stage. So two semi-finals, one grand final, and then we will crown our champion. So very exciting stuff coming up tomorrow as well. Once again, a huge shout out to all of our new players joining from the Epic Free Game Week. We're really excited to have you here in the Legion TD community. We hope that you've enjoyed the show today, and I really hope that you're all having fun with the game that we have loved for so long, Seto.
Yep, I've been here since the first release, maybe just a hair before. Grown a lot with the game, not here as long as many other players, and it's so funny because even though I've been here for years and years and years, I know that I'm still not really an old head in that aspect, but I still am here all these years later, and so are you, and so are a good amount of these guys. I sold to King Dan's, just you know, veteran players. I almost said ancient, but I was like, that'd be rude.
No, the ancient players, that's me and you, man.
Yeah.
These players have played for a long time, but
Oh.
they're not quite octogenarians like ourselves. But look, we've had some amazing games on the stream today. I really hope that everyone watching on Twitch has enjoyed the show. I just a huge shout out as always to everyone behind the scenes that makes this work. So Schnerd, Slinky, all of those guys making the tournament happen. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, and of course the developers. So making and developing this game that we all love so much, keeping it current with ongoing patches and updates and marketing and free game weeks and all of that stuff. It's just absolutely incredible to see like an indie game like this flourishing so much after so many years is phenomenal. So, yeah, that's enough gushing from me. That's all we have time for on the show today, guys. And all I really want to say now is make sure you're here in time for the semi-finals tomorrow. Starts at the same time. It's going to be a really exciting show. That's me done. Seto, final words from yourself?
I want to definitely echo all the sentiments for the thanks and the love that we have for the people who've made this game possible and these tournaments possible. I'll do it in just slightly more brevity so that we can move on. But thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, Seto. Okay, guys, one final meme song from our resident meme musician, Nick Tia. This time it's going to be someone like Jules, Jules being one of the game developers, and he loves to be memed upon. So we will leave you with this song and see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.